Good morning, everybody. Good morning, all. Come on in. Come on in. A few minutes after 8 a.m. Nate Ivey in the air chair. Let's get into it. Good morning. It's been a hell of a weekend. Looks like it's going to be a hell of a week. And as always, it's my pleasure to be with you. Let me make sure that you put up the live stream, the audio live stream, so everybody can check it out this morning. Hey, good morning to you. It is a beautiful Monday. It's Monday. It's Monday. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. As Mike D might say, let's rise and shine, young stars. Let's get to it, everybody. Want to make sure the stream is up, the audio stream, so everybody can check out the show. And on all the different places in which I'm on social media. Ray writes, good morning, all. In every success story, you will find someone who has made a courageous decision. Have a great day. Absolutely. Absolutely. I know that to be true. Hey, good morning. If you would like to give me a call this morning, let me make sure I'm all plugged up and ready to rock for your phone calls this morning. Nate Ivey in the air chair. Numerous things I want to discuss this morning. At the top of the list is I want to give you one story that illustrates, this is anecdotal, that illustrates the plight of educated black women. Yeah. Society tells these sisters to go out and excel and educate yourself. And when they do, they're not always received by the community and people in the community in the way that they think they are supposed to be. I want to talk about this, a personal story. I want to share this with you this morning. Also, I want to give you a few thoughts about, observations that I made over the weekend. And I want to talk about a new campaign that I'm embarking on. I'd love for you to be a part of it. We're moving from talk to action. From talk to action. And I think that perfectly illustrates my path and what we've been doing and what I've been doing for the last few years and the direction that could be the future. I mean, there's a lot of talk out there. It's enough talk. From talk to action. I want to share this with you this morning and give you an opportunity to be a part of it. And along the way, as I said, there's been a lot of things that's happened over the weekend I want to talk about and get your thoughts. A couple of brand new podcasts are up right now. You can check out the Truth to Power podcast. They are launching a serious effort to support Tracy Hunter. And if you are someone who lives in a local area and you support Tracy Hunter, you might want to jump on board with them or at least give them a look. We actually live streamed that. It was naked. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot to it. It was pretty much just a camera and me kind of going back and forth with it. But yeah, we live streamed that. It's up on Sin Digital page right now, so you can check out the entire podcast. Speaking of live streaming, did you enjoy the Donyetta B Is It Just Me podcast? We live streamed that. First ever live stream with anything, any kind of graphics to it, anything like that. And you can check it out on Sin Digital Media. I just got out of an Uber about 30 minutes ago, and it was a horrible Uber experience, man. I'm still trying to get over it. If I sound like I'm a little bit down, it's because my senses have been assaulted. I had to leave this dude bad feedback, but I told him, though, when I was sitting right next to him, and his car said, B, your car smelled like mildew, man. So I jump in a whip. I have a very sensitive, my senses are very sensitive, right? When I was a kid, I used to say it was an X-Man like Wolverine. Very, very sensitive eyesight, ears, nose, the whole 9 yards. I have a very sensitive nose. And I get into his whip, man, it smells like the dude had the windows down the whole damn weekend and had the nerve to have the windows up with the damn AC on. I was like, you're not killing me. Put the window down. He asked me, well, you hot or something? I said, no, man. I'm trying not to die over here. Your car smells like mildew. And he just kind of looked at me. And I'm like, just matter of factly, man, your car smells like mildew. This is not a pleasant ride. And he apologized. Yeah, I apologize. The other thing, I get inside of the Uber, and I swear to God, it looks like the man had just finished eating a donut. It's like donut crumbs. If I get into your fucking Uber, I shouldn't have to brush off donut crumbs. I shouldn't have to do that. Oh, my God. He's like, man, I haven't been Ubering for 2 years, man. And see, I thought I was doing the right thing. I don't like to ride with rookie Uber drivers because what I've noticed is there's a lot of rookie Uber drivers that'll pick you up and they don't have enough gas, or they want to pick you up eating White Castles. These are real things that have happened to me. And I'm livid. I let them know every time. I let them know because if I don't, then you're going to do this for the next person. And then I just have to say something, or I'm just not going to feel good about myself. I have to say something, right? And I'm over here now still trying to get over it. I'm like, what the hell? Was it black mold in the damn Uber? So I have to report him. They need to stop him from ever picking up anybody else. I thought I was being slick, right? Like, smart about it. I had an opportunity to take an Uber. I'm not at the home studio today. I'm over at the office/studio space over at the I-74 Wired building on the west side of town. So I took an Uber over here, and I can barely breathe. God damn. Oh, my gosh. And what is Uber doing? Why do you have such bad drivers out there with these bad experiences? So I had to give them a 1. Yeah. I had to give them a 1 star. Because I've gotten in the car with some Uber drivers, man. You could tell they vacuum out their car. It's clean and pleasant. You don't smell black mold. You know, that's the least of it. When I get into your Uber, I don't want to leave with an asthma attack. Right now, I feel all scratchy in my throat. I'm laboring. Where's my inhaler? Hey, I mean, all I did was get an Uber ride. So I had a couple of Uber riders that I dropped. It actually was the one Uber rider. You ever try to drop an Uber rider for whatever reason? Either you're racially profiling, because you know racially profiling goes on when you're choosing your Uber because you can see a picture of the damn driver. And you know you've done it before. You're like, oh, hell no. But see, I'm a big guy, so I don't like to drive in like your little Ford Focus. So I got 2 minutes that I can cancel it before they charge me. And I do it. I use it liberally. They didn't give me those 2 minutes for nothing. I don't just take any old Uber. I like people that's got a 4.9 rating and they've got, a decent amount of rides. And I look at the comments and everything and I make a snap judgment. Yes, I do. If you're looking all crazy in your Uber ride driver picture, I canceled it. I ain't driving with you. I don't have to drive with that. I saw one dude, was a black dude actually. He had a tie on. I was like, nice touch. I didn't cancel that. Oh my gosh, man. What do I have to do now? I got to tell people how to Uber. What do I have, black lung now from an Uber ride? Terrible. Let me throw my number out into the ether and see what happens this morning. 513-873-7134. We are connected and ready to rock. Connected to the masses, ready to rock. So how many people got a chance to check out that Donyetta Bailey stream? We streamed it on Friday, and that we went like an hour maybe, I think, 45 minutes. And she was dropping hot fire on numerous topics. If you haven't seen it already, okay, I'm going to repost it, of course, this morning during the show up on our networks, and you can go over to Sin Digital Media on Facebook and check it out for yourself. Yeah, you can check it out for yourself. Tell me what you think. It's just a beginning. Everything I'm doing with Sin Digital Media, the Nathan Ivey Show, we're live streaming, going straight to YouTube. I know I've been saying it for a long time, but it's true. It's true. Good morning. Over the weekend, so I didn't go to church with my wife this morning. She was being recognized at her church because, and I've talked about it before, the wifey she's like, what is it, less than 2% of the population have doctorate degrees, and she's one of them. Hooray, congratulations to the wifey. And so she was asked to go over to her church because they wanted to recognize the various members of the church. The wifey's upset about this, by the way. She didn't authorize me to talk about this. I'm not sure how she feels about it, but I'm just gonna keep it real with you. And she was asked to go there. She had to get a little earlier and go to church because they were going to do some photographs. And, the church wanted to recognize the members of the congregation that had excelled academically and things like that. So, I attend church. I haven't been regular in a while. All right, don't judge me, and I won't judge you. Okay, but if I ever was to belong to a church, it would be to that church. And my wife goes to, for various reasons. And to this point, my wife hasn't said anything about leaving the church or anything, but so she goes to do this thing, and they bring everybody up at the end. I'm not sure what point in church they did this. The regular pastor, KZ, wasn't there, by the way. And they all being recognized, and she gets recognized. And I guess they went in order of, I don't know, I guess the overall time that it took to get the degree, because she was the last person at the church to be recognized. She got up, and I wasn't there, but she got up and they recognized her and things like that. And from what I was told, it was a really, really good time. It's a really good time. And what was interesting is that when she came home afterward, she was a little bit upset. And she was upset because she said that the pastor, during his sermon, was basically, he was kind of, and again, you never know. I try to assume the best with people. You know what I'm saying? I try to assume that everybody's coming from a good place until they reveal otherwise. But, she said that the pastor, and again, not hearing it, I'm telling this secondhand. So she said essentially that the pastor who was speaking in place of KZ Smith this past Sunday, I guess he got to a part of the sermon in which he was trying to make the point about how, you guess you don't need a degree to get into heaven or something like that. Something like that. And again, I completely just be mangling it. But she kind of took it like, he was kind of diminishing what it takes to achieve a doctorate degree or a bachelor's degree or whatever. She felt some way about it. Would you like to know what I told her to do? Would you like to know what I told her to do? I told her to do what I would do. I told her that she should have a meeting with the pastor and sit down and look him in the eye and tell him exactly how you feel. I'm a big believer in that. I was brought up that way. The men in my family, they didn't send no subliminal messages. They wasn't passive aggressive. They said what they had to say. And however people took it is however they took it. But they was always honest in their feelings. And so I'm the same way. And so the people around me, when stuff happened, that's what I tell them to do. I told her she should set a meeting, sit down with the pastor, and tell him. And with no expectation that he's going to apologize or anything like that. I mean, that's not the reason why you tell somebody how you feel. It's not because you expect that they're going to say, oh, I'm sorry. It's just you telling them. You letting them know. And I think there's something very powerful in that, and just getting it out. You know what I'm saying? You ever been in a situation where you wish you had said something? Those are the situations that stay longer with you than when you just say it. They stay longer with you more when you holding it in. You know what I'm saying? So I told her she should sit down with him, have a meeting, and tell him. Now, let me give you an example. So I say this many, many times before, that I have nothing but respect for KZ Smith. Part of who is the leader of that church, Corinthian Baptist Church, from the church I'm talking about right now that my wife attended. And I'll never forget because, it was right after my wife had joined. And, when your wife joins a church, it makes you think about joining a church. So I was seriously considering joining a church. And so I went to a meeting that they were having one day because I just wanted to get some more insight. I don't just jump into things and associations blindly. I want to see who's what, you know what I'm saying, and who they are. And it's not that I'm a suspicious person. I'm just, I'm not easily won over, you know what I'm saying, especially when it comes to religion. That's a very sensitive subject for me. I take my spirituality and religiosity very, very seriously. Very seriously. You know what I'm saying? As I do my reputation. You should guard certain things with your life. I think that those two things are the two things that your family, those are the things you should guard with your life. Right? So I'll never forget. So I went to this meeting over at Corinthian Baptist Church. And it was a members meeting. I don't know. I've never belonged to a church. But as I came to understand it that night is that it was a members only meeting. So I'm sitting sitting with the wifey, and who was at that point a member, and I'm sitting in the church, and there's all kind of people there, and I'm kind of excited. I was like, wow, this was a big step for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't just step in nobody's church like that. I don't do that. It's just certain things I don't do. I don't eat everybody's potato salad. Don't take it personally. But if I come to your house and you've got potato salad there, it's a pretty good chance I'm not going to eat it. I'm just picky about certain things. And I don't just go to church like, oh, I'm going to go to somebody's church this Sunday. I don't do that unless I've got business there or some other reason. But I'm just not that kind of person. For me, I'd rather read, the Bible or meditate or do whatever I do spiritually directly to God myself. That's just me. But at the same time, I understand what a wifey is. I understand Christians, and I understand and respect what people do. Again, you got to believe in something that's deeper than money, hoes, and clothes. All the Negro knows. That's my personal motto. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what you believe in, as long as it ain't that. You know what I'm saying? Something with more substance that really matters to people. So basically, KZ asked me to leave. You know, in front of everybody. I was like pissed. I was pissed. Super pissed. I just didn't think that he handled it right. I'm like, yo, you know, I can understand that I'm not a member, but you gonna talk to me from up on the damn podium? I had a problem with it. And would you like to know what I did? I set a meeting with KZ Smith, and I told him to his face, in no uncertain terms. I told him exactly how I felt about it. I thought about it, and I told him how it could have an impact on new people. It's just the way you do things. It wasn't what you did. It's how you do it. And again, this is one reason why I respect KZ. That man, he listened to me. Number one, he gave me the time, because he could have just blew me off. He gave me the time. He impressed me with this. He gave me the time. Sat down in his office over at the Old Corinthian Baptist Church facility, because now they're over in a new spot where the Showcase Cinema used to be, right, over on Tennessee Avenue in Bond Hill. And we talked for about an hour, talked about a bunch of different things, but we started there, and I told him, like, come on, yo. And I don't even remember what he said, quite honestly. If I'd be lying to you if I could say, well, he apologized. I think he did. I just can't remember. I do remember leaving with a real more respect from the man. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, I think that there's a real power in just telling people and just saying it. You know, it don't have to be something that's got to be public. You ain't got to try to pull somebody's card in front of everybody, although there's a time for everything. Sometimes you got to pull a motherfucker's card. Sometimes you in a meeting at work and people be on that BS, and you got to let them know in front of everybody, don't play with me. Sometimes you got to do that. It's just the truth. And you've been on the job before. You've been on the job and somebody, you be in a meeting, somebody be on that BS, trying to put you out there in front of people. Man, that's happened to me a couple times. I get so damn mad. I can barely sit in my chair. Oh my God, I could tell you some stories, man. I don't understand it, but I guess I've got a sweet face. I don't know. But, you know, in that conversation, it sparked a deeper respect for KZ. He's told me that in me as well. Because a lot of people just I ain't going to say nothing, but, you know, I was looking at making a commitment, you know, with that church, and my wife was making a time commitment. Like, if you go to a church every Sunday, that's a time commitment. You're investing. You're tithing. This is an investment. And as you can tell, you know, my wife still goes there, so it wasn't something that, you know, and I still, like I said, I have never been baptized, but I'm not sure if you have to get baptized to join a church. If I ever joined a church, it would be Corinthian. And part of the reason is I have respect for KZ. I got respect for the man, you know, on a personal level. So that's why I said, when I told my wifey that, it's because I've done it. You should go tell him. And I don't know if she will or not, but, you know, why hold on to it? You'll feel so much better when you just put it out there. Just let the chips fall where they may. You know, he might tell her, F off. Or he might sit and listen to it. It don't really matter. The point is not to get a certain reaction. Because when you're dealing with grown people, you can't force no grown person to do nothing. Whether you right, wrong, or whatever. You can't. That don't matter, grown folks. That's not how grown folks work. But the only thing that you can control is you. And what you do and how you react. Right? How you deal with, you know, being human in the 21st century. And so, I don't know. That's what I told the wifey. What advice would you give? 513-873-7134. I only share that story in the sense that, you know, when I introduced the wifey, I introduced her as doctor. And I do that because she fucking earned it. She earned it. I have no problem. Doctor what? Listen, you all doctors around me. You know what I'm saying? Let people know. I told the wifey, man, if I was doctor, oh my God. Listen, it'd just be doctor. That's Dr. Nathan. Yeah, you got to rock it. Because if you don't promote you, nobody else will. If you don't stand up for you, nobody else will. And if you wait around for people to, like, acknowledge you, a lot of people ain't going to do that. Some of the stories she's told me, like, since she's earned her doctorate, I'm sure are very similar stories that a lot of black female professionals, and I've talked to black male professionals who've struggled for that kind of recognition on the workplace. We're talking about a doctorate, but it could be that, you got the highest degree where you work, right? You're the highest degree black person in your office building, same spot. And people don't want to recognize what you've done and what you've accomplished and who you are. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, man, the world is nuts. That's why I love Nino Brown. I got to get back into Nino. I posted a Nino Brown, I guess you can call it a video, and it just struck me for whatever reason. Nino is the greatest, man. I don't care what nobody say. Nino Brown is absolutely a prophet sent from God to enlighten us and deliver ill flows at the same time. Speaking of ill flows, man, I've been listening to this guy named Da Baby. Remember we was talking about him last week? Man, he's got a super dope song out called Suge, as in Suge Knight. Have you seen this video? Super dope. Check it out. It's super dope. You'll love it. All right, super dope like that. Donyetta B, Is It Just Me podcast. If you haven't seen that live stream, please check it out. And we're just getting started. We'll be live streaming again this Friday. So when you see promos online, if you can hear my voice, please like and share. It means everything. Appreciate it in advance. Shout out. I see Brian's in the house. Good morning to you, Brian. But first I got to say good morning to Living While Black, who writes, make today your best day. I know that's right. Anybody hip to Joe Rogan? Joe Rogan does a super dope, super popular podcast called The Joe Rogan Experience. Some of the great interviews, man. Great interviews. But he also does like some inspirational stuff as well. And I caught a video over the weekend in which he said, look, what you didn't do yesterday don't matter. Today's a new day. And that's absolutely true, my friends. Absolutely. So even if you had a bad Uber experience like I did this morning, you can still recover. It was terrible. What time is it? 8:29? It's 8:29. That was over an hour ago, an hour and 15 minutes ago, right? And my nostrils are still lightly burning. Like, I shouldn't feel, my eyes are itchy. Like, I'm not, hold on, let me put some eye drops in. Here it is. That's my eye drops. Oh, my gosh. My eyes are burning. The hell is going on, man? I mean, did he have some Agent Orange? He was a strange kind of guy. You ever get in an Uber with somebody and they just look strange and you size them up just to make sure they ain't got nothing? It was kind of like that. Kind of creepy. So, dude told me that, well, on his profile, it read that he had been Ubering for like 4 years. And I'm like, 4 years? This is a pro. I should have took the dude with the Ford Focus. But he had only been Ubering for 9 months. And I'm like, these rookies. Should have took that guy, man. Should have took the Ford Focus. But, I mean, 6'4" and change. I got a laptop bag with me. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't want to be cramped into somebody's small-ass car. I wasn't in the mood for it, so many things percolate. Let me get back to this. Living While Black writes, make today your best day. Brian writes, morning, GSW, 2016 all over again. Ray writes, good morning. Oh, hey, good to see everybody. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's going down tonight. I will be watching the game. I'll probably check out the highlights as usual, but I will be watching the game. I'm not rooting for GSW. We need somebody new at the top. That's just what it is. It's about damn time. I have no sympathy for them. I don't want to hear no belly aching. See, at least Brian ain't belly aching. My little brother the weekend, I had to let him know. But they got injuries, he told me over the phone. I just laughed at him. Injuries, huh? We talking about injuries? Injuries? You weren't saying that in 2016 when LeBron James had injuries, and he still was a monster, He-Man monster. Scoring, averaging a triple-double in a losing effort. Damn near triple-double. He was one rebound off. It's crazy, man. I got no sympathy for him. I hope they get destroyed tonight. I hope they get beat by like 50. That's what I hope. I'm just being honest with you, B. Here's Jerica. She writes, hola, beautiful black people, and the others too. Speaking of the others, I saw that John #Glorious just completed his training I'm not sure if the picture was on his personal page or inside the friends page. And oh, by the way, shout out to the new friends. We got many, many new friends that have joined the friends page. Appreciate you. Come on in. So this morning, I shared a little story with you that's an anecdote of the plight of educated black women. So the wifey was left feeling like, I mean, damn, you bring me here to acknowledge me. And then the pastor gets up here and talks about how these degrees really don't matter in the kingdom of Christ. But what the hell are we doing it for? Why you had the people come in and do all that? You know what I'm saying? Was the pastor not prepared that day, so he just went on a tangent? I mean, that happens. I get it, but so I told her, go talk to him. Tell them with no expectations. Like when you say something to somebody, you can't have no expectation they're going to apologize or they're going to acknowledge what you're right. They're going to honor what you're saying. Oh, yeah, I see it too. No, that has nothing to do with it. The whole point is just telling them. That's it. And you'll feel much better. I think she'll end up doing it because she lives with me. I think she'll end up just telling them. And they'll probably have a better relationship afterward or not. I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you know. Mason Marler writes, good morning, Nate, and the Choppers, #resistance. Cam Hardy writes, good morning, Nate, and the Choppers. Cam, we got to catch up, man. Let's catch up this week. Cerinthia writes, morning. Tracy writes, hi. Fame writes, good morning. If you're talking children, the alt-middle must be a party to the conversation. Is that right? Okay. Taylor's in the house. TNT writes, good morning. Good to see everybody. Deborah writes, good morning. Brenda writes, happy Monday. Tanika writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. You're having a whole fit this morning. I am. It's just, I swear to God, I'm over here choking to death, man. All because I got in the wrong Uber. Thought I was doing something fly. Like, oh, yeah, I got a mechanism, right? I got a system. I'm going to get the best Uber experience. I got the worst experience in Uber I've had in a long time. Since the guy who picked me up with some eating White Castle burgers. How do you pick up somebody in an Uber eating White Castles? Black man at that. I had to let him know. Then I had to give him bad feedback. That's just what it was. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So spent some time yesterday at some friends of ours' house because they have kids too. When you have kids, you end up sort of naturally drifting toward people that have kids your age because when the adults are like whatever they're doing, then the kids can do whatever they're doing. And all of the couple friends that we had like 3 couple friends that before we had kids, and they ended up not having kids. And we just kind of drifted away. I mean, we see them on Facebook, but they're living different lives. Like if you don't have any children and you're like married or 2 adults, your life is completely different than if you have kids. And so you find yourself reaching out and seeking out those kind of friendships. And so we have those friends. So we were at one of our adult family friends' house, and it was her birthday. Shout out to Angela this morning. Not the Angela from the Chop Shop, but another Angela who hasn't seen her in a while. But she has been known to be inside the Chop Shop. And we had a good time. Just hanging out, being adults with the kids, with the family, juniors running around, playing with other kids and all that kind of stuff. So, it was a good time. It was what Sundays are for, right? That's what it's all about. King Koblar writes, call that old bootleg number. Right. Man, like literally, I feel like I've got mildew, my eyes are still, hold on. I gotta hit him with another one. Like literally. I'm going to have to take my contacts out, clean them, rinse them, and then put them back in. That's the only way I'm going to get whatever substance I got from this man's car. And like I said, how do you allow me to get in your stuff? I'm like, hey, can I get in the front seat? Because I put my stuff in the back. Open the door. It looked like it was donuts, like glazed donuts. Like the little flaking can come off sometimes. I know that. I know what the remnants of glazed donuts look like. I know. And you see me, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. And I wish it wasn't that bad with the crumbs, but I wish that I would have been able to pick up on the mildew because I just would have stopped the ride. You know what I'm saying? I'm damn near my destination before I put it together. Like, wait a minute, is this Agent Orange? What is it? Did he spray some mace in the car before I got in here? Or is this mildew? What is this? Oh, man. Ray writes, Nathan, right, I'm so picky when it comes to people's food, right? I didn't eat anything. And it's not to say that I have any problem with our friends, going to their house because they put out a great spread. Oh, man, they got a great back deck out in the suburbs, living a good suburban life. And we had a ball. I mean, we could have had a badminton tournament back there and nobody would have known. You know what I'm saying? That's how private it is. So we had a great time back there. And I didn't eat a thing. And it wasn't because they can't cook, right? I'm just picky, man. I'm just a really picky guy. That's it. It's the Virgo in me. You got thrown out of a church. Black preachers do the most. I got thrown out of a church. I got kicked out the Boy Scouts, and I got thrown out of a church. So I did. Cub Scouts. I wanted to join the Cub Scouts. They had a little group over in, Walnut Hills, Evanston. So I go to the first meeting by myself. I don't know why I didn't have anybody there, but I got dropped off over there. And it just didn't go too well. I felt like they was on some bullshit. I mean, like I said, since I was a kid, man, I'm very highly sensitive to how I'm treated. Highly sensitive to it. And even when I was a kid, I still to this day have a real strong sense of, if people trying to, as a kid, of adults in that situation I don't know what they was trying to do, but they was doing something I didn't like. So it just didn't end well. And they asked me to lead the Cub Scouts, and I never went back to that Cub Scout group again. It was all black ran. I guess I wasn't the kind of kid they wanted. And I never gave a damn about it either. I mean, so what? And I got kicked out the black church because I wasn't a member, and I went to a membership meeting. And again, I totally understand it. There's something, if you have a membership meeting, yeah, I think that if it's members only, it should be members only. I get it. But my issue was not what, but how it was done. You know what I'm saying? And I remember being heated. Kind of. I mean, it wasn't like I was going to do anything physical, anything like that, but I just wasn't happy about it. And so, yeah, that's the truth, man. Tracy writes, there's a bloodbath in our streets. Yeah, I've been reading about it all weekend long. And a lot of folks have been posting these articles about it, and I don't have a handle on it. Do you? The police chief said essentially that the numbers are lower than they were last year, as if that means anything. That kind of sounds like we're okay with a certain amount of murders happening, doesn't it? That's what that sounds like. We're okay with a certain amount of murders happening. Long as it's not beyond what happened last year, then we're all good. And this ain't about how the city looks. This is about how the city feels. You know what I'm saying? This ain't about how the city looks. When I saw that quote, I'm like, wait a minute, did he really say that? Come on, Chief. What the hell's going on? Yeah, the streets, man. The streets is crazy out there. Daryl writes, good morning, Choppians. And we're choppers and cyber Wakandans. Maybe we're trying to put those together. TNT writes, I can't stand finger wagging preaching or what they call stepping on toes. A lot of times they are spewing their own past transgressions. We are all flawed. We all sin. I prefer encouragement and teaching that reminds us of our humanity and what it means to look out for one another. Yeah, I agree. Again, I wasn't there. I didn't hear the sermon. I just picked up on what the wifey was telling me. Had I been there, I would have told her, I probably would have made a beeline straight over to the pastor, because usually people all congregate and stuff like that. And I would have urged her to deal with it right then and right there. Tell him what you just told me. Because I think that you can disagree. You can, sometimes people disagree. Sometimes, it happens, but it doesn't mean you have to completely sever the relationship. See, one thing I've noticed about, and maybe I'll say Cincinnati, this could be people anywhere, but I'm in Cincinnati, is that sometimes people can fall at you about one thing and then they just completely just disengage with you, right? And that's just how it is. Some people are like that. Some relationships are like that. It's just the nature of the relationship. But I think in that relationship, you're talking about the member of a church and a pastor that preaches in the church. until she say something to him, it's always going to be festering her. So just say it and then let the chips fall where they may and you move on. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. And don't expect no apologies or nothing. Just say it. So I'll let you know. I'll let you know what the resolution is. Hold on one second here, choppers. Got to take a quick break. And when we come back, I'm going to open the phone lines and we'll take some of your phone calls. Caller, call me back. I'll put you straight on after the break at 513-873-7134. This is the Nathan Ivey Show, powered by Sin Digital Media. And we'll be right back.
Change the world. Yeah, you. Getting that college education.
I dare you to be somebody important.
Like be a teacher. Or a reality TV star.
I dare you to stand up here.
To call the shots.
To be a role model.
An inspiration. An innovator.
To be a teacher. Be my teacher.
Think you can change my life?
Make me excited about science like you?
Have a career that really means something?
Then do it.
I dare you. I dare you. I dare you.
I'm waiting.
If you love them enough to listen to them practice the same song on tuba,
please be done.
Over and over and over and over and over, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Sounds good, honey.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, I had one thing on my mind. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball every chance I could. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn the signs of a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. I'm Paul George. Protect the ones you love. Spot a stroke F-A-S-T. Fast. Life is why. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Very quick PSA break. Welcome back, everybody. Nathan Ivey Show, brought to you, powered by Sin Digital Media. Find us on Facebook. And our numbers jumped significantly over the last week after I put more invites out. If you received an invite from me and you haven't already accepted, please do so. And like and share the Sin Digital Media page. We'll be live streaming 2 more shows this week. So the Cincinnati NAACP will be on Thursday, approximately 1 p.m. So check out their live stream. You can check it out. Sin Digital Media. And then at 12:30 p.m. on Friday, the Is It Just Me podcast with Donyetta Bailey, Donnie B. Check it out. And the audio is up. You can check it out on all audio networks. And of course, the video now you can find exclusively on our Facebook page, Sin Digital Media. Sin Digital Media. And, the more I think about it and I look at the world around us, I keep seeing all these inequities. We keep looking at the city of Cincinnati and Hamilton County and looking at all of the great things that are happening in the city. But then when you look at how black people are being affected by it or the condition of black people, the numbers seem to be all in the wrong place. No one's happy with it, but why does it persist? If we got so many good-intentioned, well-intentioned people, if the Democrats love black people, if the Republicans love black people, if the independents love black people, if the charterites love black people, then how is it that the statistical condition of black people is still lagging behind, our racial counterparts? Well, how is that possible? How is that happening? I just don't know if people are being really represented in the way that they should be. I don't believe so. And there's so many efforts out there of good organizations that's putting under good efforts like the NAACP and others like the Urban League. I mean, it's a lot of great energy from organizations in which black people are running them. Mortar's doing great. You now have Queens Village. You got Queens Village now repping for and pushing to change the perception of black people, black females in particular, in the city of Cincinnati. I think that's great. But what can we do with the audience of the Nathan Ivey Show? How do we move from talk to action? From talk to action. If I run for city council, that will be my slogan, from talk to action, which I think encapsulates my history, but also what we all want to be, what I really want to be all about. And we have talked about the issues. We know what the issues are. It's been studied. So how do we move from that into action? I want to get your thoughts on it. 513-873-7134. I've been putting this out for some time now as we whittle down on a course of action in which we can have a real positive impact here in the greater Cincinnati area. Again, 513-873-7134. From talk to action. It's about damn time, don't you think? And did you hear that? There's a loud ass car going past the studio window, but you probably didn't hear that though. But you turn on the news, and about 3 weeks ago, there was an article that was from MSN, and then it got reported on other networks, and it talked about how Cincinnati was like one of the worst places in the country for black people statistically. And I'm like, wait a minute, how can that be true? We got the Reds. We got the Bengals. We got FC Cincinnati coming in. How could this be true? We've got OTR, and that's because that's only part of the story. There's a lot more to the story that needs to be properly explored and focused on. Drop writes, no, Karamia writes, Ray, what's your take on these shootings? Well, Karamia, what's your take on the shootings? I want to know what your take is. What's your take on the shootings? I mean, what do you say that the community can do about these shootings? I'd like to know. Does anybody have any insight? I actually talked with a young man over the weekend, and there was a brother that was killed over in Mount Airy. That was one of his friends. And he was giving me the details about how, it could have been him. Guy was at a bus stop, got mowed down. Very sad. Very sad situation. And I could tell that the young brother was traumatized. I could tell he was like, I stand at that bus stop. Yeah. He said he's at the bus stop and could have been him. You always get those same calls from the community. The community has to step out. The community has to say something, right? We always get that. And then it kind of stops. So I'd like to know, what do you think that the community should do about it? In your opinion, what hasn't been done that can be done, that should be done? I'd like to get your thoughts on that. 513-873-7134. Man, by Sunday morning, the 7th shooting in less than 2 weeks in the city. What neighborhoods did the shootings take place in? Does anybody know? Did you read the article? Did you see it on the news? What neighborhoods? Are there any similarities for those who live in Cincinnati? Any history in these neighborhoods? I saw in one case, we were talking about Lower Price Hill. And see, I'm reading here. Other homicides happened in Columbia, Tusculum, East Price Hill, the West End, Mount Airy, and Bond Hill. What's the connection between, or is there a connection other than the fact that they're talking about neighborhoods in Cincinnati? Is there any other connection that anybody can identify? I'd like to know. Is this a case where what needs to happen is that the community needs to stand up? Because we hear this every time. I've heard it over the weekend as well. You know, the community needs to stand up. People need to turn in and work with the police. I want to get your thoughts on it. See drops in the house. Mason Muller writes, it's the dope game, period. Life expectancy in that life has always been limited. So we think it's all related to the dope game? Could be. Could be. Mike Davis writes, sometimes the people that get killed deserve it. Sometimes it's street justice. Woo. So what classifies as they deserve it, Mike? Is this like somebody did something to a kid? Somebody committed like an offense to God or something like that? Is this like a pedophile? You know, somebody molested somebody's child and then somebody found out about it and took care of them before the law did? I mean, that, you know, that I think that if you ask most people, something like that would be within the realm of what you said, like, you know, street justice. Are these people that robbed or stole from other people and then it just got caught up with them? Dale writes, it's not all due to the drug game. A lot of these shootings are dudes all in their feelings, thinking they're being disrespected, so they reach for the steal. I think social media has a lot to do with it. Those beefs start here and they carry on in the streets. Yeah. Yeah. See, that goes back to what the folks with the Black Male Media Project were talking about, despite what Fame was saying, because he didn't know what the hell he was talking about at all. The conversation itself, and I know because I was there, the conversation itself was along the lines of toxic masculinity in a sense of people investing in being so somebody go on Facebook. I have people go on Facebook and say things about me. Sometimes I ignored it. Sometimes I respond to it. But it pretty much stays there. It's not something that I'm going to linger on and grab the steal or now we got a problem when I see you. I mean, no. But that's me. You know, for some people, maybe a younger guy, he's invested in what people think he is on his social media. So when somebody starts something with him, it's something that he's willing to kill or die for. Is that an example of toxic masculinity? I don't know. King Koblar writes, where them body parts from the vet killed in jail, though? Not sure. Ray writes, all gentrified neighborhoods. Yeah, I'm asking, what's the connection between the shootings, these various neighborhoods in which the shootings took place in over the weekend, or really over the last week or so in the city of Cincinnati? Columbia, Tusculum, Evanston, East Price Hill, the West End, Mount Airy, and Bond Hill. And I'm reading an article that was dated yesterday morning, early in the morning at 5:30 a.m. And in this particular news story, they're saying that only one person has been arrested. Yeah. Brandon Phoenix was killed at a bus stop on Coleraine Avenue. Like I told you, I talked with a young man over the weekend, and that was somebody that he knew. He said, you know, he used to smoke with him. He used to rock with him. And, you know, they'd not meet each other, but they'd be at the bus stop at the same time catching the bus. That's where he got gunned down, 19 years old, dead. 19. That's why I say, man, when you hear about these young brothers getting killed and murdered at young ages and people dying, that's why I love getting older. I love it. I have no shame in my game. I'm happy to be the age that I am, and I hope I get to be 10 times older. I'm telling you, every day is life is a blessing. It is a blessing. Damn. So does anybody have any insight? If you do, you should share it with Crime Stoppers at 513-852-3040. And they say that all tips can remain anonymous. Can remain anonymous. I thought they will. It reads that it can remain anonymous. Well, part of the reason why people don't come forward is because the Cincinnati Police Department can't really protect them. And I think that there's a program that the Cincinnati Police Department has that in a situation like this will provide resources and protection for people that see kind of things, you know, these kind of, you know, have information about these murders and stuff like that. But I think that it's woefully underfunded. It's woefully underfunded. And part of the reason why people don't come forward is two parts. Number one is the police fault because of the way they brutalize black people. So even when black people got something that they can share, they don't want to share it with you because they might end up like the Central Park Five. Right? Do you want to end up like the Central Park Five? The Central Park Five is another reason why black folks don't rock with police and why black people can be very suspicious of police. That kind of stuff. Part of the reason why black folks or some black folks don't talk to the police is not because, they're police. It's because I might go in there and give you some information and I might end up in bars, behind bars. You know what I'm saying? Had nothing to do with it, but you get swooped up in it, just like the young brother from the Central Park, the so-called Central Park Five. You just down there on a humble, end up swooped up. You're doing time. They had one of those young boys in Rikers, man. You messed that young boy up for life, put him on Rikers, and didn't even commit the crimes. I could go on about the Central Park Five, but I'm just saying that stuff is real life today. It ain't about something that happened back in the 80s and 90s. It's happening every single day. But back to this, part of the reason why they don't is because of the history of police and black community relations. And then also because they can't protect you. Somebody find out you're going down there and now you got to go back home. You might get murked. And then what do people say? Oops, my bad. Oops, my bad. No one wants to go out like that. Karamia writes, people have always disrespected each other in the past, never did have shootings like this. Well, I think that, and if you notice, nowhere in any of those communities has anybody said anything that as a response to the shootings, that the good tax-paying, law-abiding citizens, the black people, the working class people that live in those neighborhoods, nobody is saying that they need to arm themselves. As a response to this, it's all about de-escalate, de-arm these communities. Nobody's saying, hey, if you live in Price Hill and you're a law-abiding citizen, hey, Second Amendment rights, you should arm yourself. You should start a watch. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe it's just not in the nature of those people that live in the neighborhoods, or maybe that's far-fetched. I don't know. But let's take a phone call. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivey. This is your West Side Connection, bright and early out here on the left coast, the People's Republic of California, Drop Squad 52. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I heard your story about Uber, and since I think June was when Uber launched a new ad campaign called Uber Black. Have you heard of it?
I have.
Maybe you need to upgrade, Mr. Ivey, because the fact that Uber is running this national ad campaign is probably because of your experience you had with Mr. Moldy over the weekend or this morning. And a lot of people are starting to walk away from Uber, and because they couldn't control the people that were doing the driving in the beginning. And you were getting people like you had this morning. So now I think Uber has realized they had to step up their game if they didn't want to lose more customers. So, but anyway, the reason I called Mr. Ivey, and one more quick little news story. Big Papi, former Boston Red Sox slugger, was shot over the weekend in Dominican Republic. And I think the latest report is he's out of critical condition. But they didn't say if he's going to be able to walk again because he was shot in the lower back. But Mr. Ivey, real quick about the violence in the cities. And I just wanted to give you my perspective because I was a military policeman in the United States Marine Corps from 1982 to 1984. And I just want to say, Nate, because of the bad publicity, some of it deserving that the law enforcement has been receiving these past 3.5 years since the first Orange president was elected, that a lot of police officers in major cities, they are pulling back, Nate. They are not contacting the community. They're not engaging like they used to because it's just too risky. Because first of all, people are running around talking about, I know my rights. They're not cooperating. Police officers have a job to do. So that's all I'm saying about that. And these shootings, we all know why this is happening, Nate, in these black communities. You know why. I mean, you've been around a little bit, and you kind of know it all goes back to the home. But anyway, before I go, Mr. Ivey, I just want your prediction on what's going to happen tonight in the NBA.
I don't have any predictions. What I hope is that Toronto is going to close it out at home, and Drake is going to dance on the floor and maybe do like some Hotline Bling or something like that.
And do you think Kevin Durant will play tonight?
Again, no expectations. I don't know. I'm as curious as everyone else is. If he does, I don't know how effective he's going to be. I mean, what are they going to do? I mean, they're going to shoot. If he's got an Achilles injury in any way, he can't play on it. Period. There's nothing he can do. They can't ice it. They can't heat it up. It just has to heal.
Right.
Because if not, if it tears, he's gone for a long time.
Well, there was a report that he was practicing. That was I read a news article yesterday. They said he's practicing.
Yeah, I saw.
So I'm assuming that he's gonna play.
Mm-hmm.
And if he plays and they lose, does it affect his free agency? I mean, because everybody's going to wonder, well, did he only come back so he could show everyone that he's healthy to help his free agency when he leaves Golden State? Because nobody's ever come back from 3-1 other than your guy, King James, when he did it a couple of years ago against these same Warriors. So that's my take. I don't want to get too riled up, Nate, on this whole shooting stuff in the city because it's summertime, Nate. It's happening all across America. I mean, it's unfortunate, and if you got kids, you got a young man or even a young lady out there, you just got to watch them, Nate. You just got to be overly protective of your children, and because it's just too risky out here in these streets now. And that's my take, Nate. Drop Squad 52, walking while retired, dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it, even the chop shop overseer, Mason Marler. Peace out.
Take it easy. Appreciate it. I don't know, man. I'm as curious as every other person that watched the NBA. I have no idea. I have no expectations. I just want to be entertained. That's it. And I want Toronto to win. Other than that, I got no expectations. We'll wait and see. You know, sometimes a crisis can set you up to be a hero like it did LeBron and the boys back in 2016. We shall see. Is it in them? I don't know. We'll see how good the Golden State Warriors really are. Dale writes, did they ever find a killer who killed that Muslim family of 4 in Westchester? It's a good question. I don't know. Fame writes that the Black Male Media Project was urchin patronizing. Tell the truth. Urchin patronizing. Well, no, it wasn't. I'm not even sure what you mean by urchin. Like that's your viewpoint of the young people who were there. That's not the Black Male Media Project's viewpoint of the black people who were there. And I would say it's like anything else. I mean, somebody asked me on Facebook, like, well, how was it? What was accomplished? Well, if you really gave a damn, you would have been there to find out. Don't ask me what was accomplished. Get your ass there. Simple as that. You know, what'd you really do? Well, if you really cared, you would have been there. And if you don't care, you weren't there. So why am I telling you? No. I mean, information was transferred, so that was it. Sarintha writes, they all have the high gang activity. Sounds like gang initiations to me. Gang initiations, huh? I wonder if Iris is out there because, Iris is connected, what's going on in a way that nobody else is really in the city of Cincinnati. And she works very closely with the police. When things like this happen and, she gets a phone call. So I don't know, Iris, if you're out there, if you can give us an update, I really appreciate it. Maybe you could just stop inside the chop shop, or of course you can always give us a call at 513-873-7134. I don't know if they're all connected, but I'll ask around and see what I can find out. Mike writes, Raptors in 5. I called it last week. Great. That'll be great. That'll be just great. Raptors in 5, huh? Somebody says it's the summertime. Was that drop? I mean, I always hated that. Like, somehow people are animals, and because of the heat, it brings out this kind of evil activity. I don't know if that's the case, but I think that when the weather is better, people are going to be more likely to be out, and therefore there's more of an opportunity for things to go down. Maybe. Are these shootings related in any way? Are these shootings related in any way? I'd like to know. Give me your thoughts. I see JD posted what appeared to be Tracy Hunter. Looks like she was at New Vision Missionary Baptist Church and probably talking about what's going on. You know, the NAACP has a petition that they've put out. And the petition basically is they want to end the political persecution and dismiss the charge. Now, you know, there's a lot of things that people can do to move from talk to action. And, you know, I want to present some opportunities to the Nathan Ivey Show and beyond if you want to get involved with some action. Okay. But there's a lot of different small ways, and I don't even think it's small, but there's a lot of ways, things you can do just from your phone or from your computer. Like, you know, one is you can sign a petition. When these petitions go out, like with the NAACP, and they can speak for themselves, but I'm speaking in general, that's an opportunity to like show that there's a lot of people that care about a particular issue. So you may not be able to go out to the event, or, you know, you're not going to march for Tracy Hunter, but maybe you sign a petition, you know, you can start your own petition. That's another way to move from talk to action. And if you can get a lot of people to sign onto your petition, then it can show that there's a lot of energy around your movement or your issue or whatever it is. Okay. But, you know, what I would say is I would urge Nathan Ivey Show listeners to jump on a friend's page, or you can go to the Cincinnati NAACP page, and they've got links up. You can check it out for yourself. Make your own determination. Yeah. You know, I want the Nathan Ivey Show to be a catalyst. In fact, the Nathan Ivey Show is a catalyst for broader engagement in the community. And as I've been saying, I want to do this with you. I think that we have something special. And I think that we have an opportunity to harness it into something that can be very, very powerful and instrumental in perhaps closing some of the gaps that we see here in the city of Cincinnati. Because I'm just sick and tired of looking at the news being sick and tired. Can I get an amen on that one? Sick and tired of looking at the news being sick and tired. And something new has to happen. A new voice has to emerge. Again, here's my number, 513-873-7134. Have you seen the video of the student who was giving a speech at a school, and she mentioned the names of black people who were fatally victimized by systematic racism, and then the principal cut off her microphone? Did you see this? This sister was kicking facts. She was kicking knowledge. And see, that's why I say schools, they don't teach you how to critically think. They teach you how to follow orders. They teach you how to obey. They teach you when to be quiet. They teach you when to eat, when to go to the bathroom. But they don't teach you how to challenge. And that's because school buildings are made up of adults, teachers, principals, and they don't want to be challenged every single day. You know what I'm saying? Like in an environment in which you're teaching young people to critically think, those young people are naturally going to challenge the authority figures. And that's the last thing they want in a school building. And it's the number one thing that we need as a quality in our kids. It's the number one thing we need. But schools don't do that because they be investing in their own complication, right? You're going to make my day worse. Now I got to legitimize and listen to all these concerns just because we want our kids to critically think. This sister she didn't say anything wrong. She was just reading names. And the principal got all upset. He had like little hand signals going. Cut the mic. She mentioned Trayvon Martin. Oh, dear. Oh, why did she say Trayvon Martin? What the hell is wrong with people? And here she is giving a speech, right? Which means that she's probably a highly respected student. She's been working hard, right? She's probably got a great GPA or a great reputation. And she gets cut off. She gets cut off because the principal doesn't like what she's saying. Yeah, cut her straight off. And could you imagine if that was your daughter? Could you imagine that? Kiramia writes, I went last night to Judge Tracy Hunter's support rally last night. Not enough people was there to support her cause. Oh, boy. Yeah, I mean, you know, I would say, Kiramia, here we are, what is it, a decade later? And, you know, I remember going to events and, you know, attend, say, Tracy Hunter support events and talking about the issue and interviewing her and things like that. My last interview in talk radio was Tracy Hunter. People used to say, oh, Nathan, they cut you off because you interviewed Tracy Hunter. I don't believe that was it at all. I mean, you know, but so I'm very aware of it. I just think when it comes to Tracy Hunter, number one, there's been a lot of time. Number two, there's people even inside the black community have different opinions about her. Right? And then number three, we're not really equipped, right, to really deal with that, in my humble opinion. That's just me. You know, there's a lot of good efforts out there, but any effort is only as strong as the people that's behind it. You can have the greatest idea in the world. You know, you could be right. But if people don't support you, then it don't mean damn thing. It means nothing. But thank you for that, Prank. Thank you for being there. Mike Davis has all the power, Angela. Inquirer ran a story a few years back. It has been hot, drinking, smoking, and heat with folks does not fare well. Well, again, you know, drug abuse runs rampant in our community, but we never talk about it. Yeah, that's why I really supported Leslie Jones and the nonprofit organization that she was working for. Remember what they were trying to do? They were trying to arm, well, their endeavor was to educate, you know, religious leaders so they can deal with the current drug epidemic in the city of Cincinnati. And if you remember that conversation I had with Pastor Leslie Jones, we talked about alcoholism. We talked about marijuana because we talk about opioids, but we never talk about these drugs. There are a lot of people in our community that's suffering from addictions of these drugs. You know, there's a lot of people that suffer in our community from addictions of these particular drugs. And it never gets talked about because all we're talking about is opioid abuse. But that's an excellent point that Sarinthia just made. I mean, we tend to think that when we hear about violence or whatever else, that it's automatically just evil intentions. But again, a lot of these cats are committing these crimes and they are high as hell. And they get down to the JC and for the first time in a long time, they're without weed. They're without alcohol. I've been told that you can get weed into the jail. You know, very recently by someone who was incarcerated. He was incarcerated this year down to JC. And when he got out, he hit me up and told me he wanted to talk. Well, he also had a case. And, you know, when people have a potential case, they can get, their lawyers tell them really not to talk in the media because it might mess up the case. And that happens a lot, actually. It's happened. I can't tell you how many times it's happened where an incident takes place. I reach out to the family. They're willing to come on before, maybe it's the very next day or in 2 days. And then I get another message saying, well, you know, talk to the lawyers and you want it back. That happens all the time. Karamir writes, it took 5 million taxpayers' money to convict Judge Tracy Hunter. That money could have been used for street camera or to catch it live and stop the nonsense. Somebody writes, you sound like Clarence Thomas to drop. Oh, boy. Not Clarence. Angela wants to know, who are the decision makers on it? Not sure. I'm trying to reach back here. I'm not even sure what the original question was, so. Dale writes, if KD don't play tonight, the Raptors will be crowned champions. Well, if KD plays tonight, there's a good chance that the Raptors might be crowned champions. If you remember, in the last game that Golden State played against the Raptors, and I believe it was a home game in which KD played, that was back in the regular season, KD had like 51. He had like 49 points, 51 points, something like that. And the Raptors still beat them. That was with a healthy KD. So what I would say to Golden State Warrior fans, I wouldn't hold on to a Willis Reed moment where KD comes limping out of the hallway at the halftime and saves the day. Now, anything's possible. It could happen. But I'm just saying that a soft tissue injury, hamstringy, something like that, man, listen. The first time he turns the run, the first time he has to really shake somebody at full speed, then we're going to find out what's going on. We're going to find out real soon. And again, he could come back and drop 40 tonight, and they still lose. That is possible. KD is no guarantee. None at all, actually. Again, let me get back to this. I want to know what you think, 513-873-7134, about the violence that's happened in the city and how we can take the Nathan Ivey Show from talk to action, from talk to action. That is the name of the campaign that I want to embark upon as we figure out, how to positively impact the city of Cincinnati. All right, good morning, caller. Welcome to the show. We just lost you. Call me right back. I'll put you on 513-873-7134. Somebody writes, it's all about the money. Is that right? It's all about the money. Someone writes, oh, well, only one way to accomplish that, ousting Dieters as prosecutor. That's been a futile process. Well, you're right. It has been a futile process. But there was a very interesting article about Gabe Davis. And again, I got a chance to talk with Gabe directly last week. And let me reach back out and see if we can secure that. Because I've seen he's done a couple of interviews with WVXU here or there. But it's time for Gabe to come talk with black folks. Come talk with us and let us know what you think and what's going on. But let me give you some sense of the politics behind it. It was a very interesting article that I read over the weekend that talked about the possibility of Gabe Davis. He hasn't declared, as I understand, but talks about the possibility of him being successful and why 2020 might be a little bit different. And I think that 2020 is going to be different as well. And that's why I want to move from talk to action, But let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Yo, good morning. Okay, so you going to listen? All right, call me back, and we'll put you back on. Not sure who that is. Not sure. Never know these days. Bunky writes, Nate, that Kuhn principle is a product of intersectionality. Let me see. Is he? I'm not sure. How is he a product of intersectionality? I don't understand that. Don't get it. Explain that to me. Jobs in 2019 will help get some of the black youth off the streets this summer. Mike Davis writes, you can get whatever you want in jail, Nate. I don't know if you can get whatever you want. You're probably right about that, Mike, but I was told that you can certainly get weed inside the JC if you really want to. TNT writes, there will be another town hall that is much bigger. We just learned about their meeting on Thursday, and it wasn't enough time to advertise. Hopefully the judge won't call her in for sentencing soon. But more than likely he will, and we must be ready. Absolutely, TNT. To the phones we go. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
What up, though?
Well, what up, though? Welcome.
Shit, it's how gravy was on there. Everything
yeah, absolutely.
Good?
Yeah, everything's great, man. What's on your mind?
A little bit of everything. Everything you ain't thinking about, that's for damn sure.
Well, of course.
Damn sure. I have to make note that every time somebody mentions the hunky ball, you got such excitement in your voice. I mean, you so hyped up.
Do we really got to go down this story again? I don't give a damn what you think about what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the NBA. So now you know. Anything else you want to talk about?
I know you don't.
All right, then.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, don't waste my time with. Don't even waste my time telling me what you think about me talking about the NBA. Now, if you got something else to talk about, go right ahead.
I got a whole bunch to talk about, but I'm leveling facts, bro. That's a fact. It's a fact.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't say it wasn't a fact. I just told you that I don't need to hear it. We keep hearing it. Who cares what you think about me talking about the NBA? I don't give a damn. So we can just jump to the next thing then.
You hard now, huh? You hard now. But when you're talking about white racism and the plight of our people, you got a somber-ass slave voice.
Oh, I know you ain't talking. When you was the same dude that mished out in front of that police officer and tried to put your little video up, I know you ain't talking. Come on now. The pot calling the kettle black. That was the all-time Mitch out of the year.
See, you say jack feces to a white boy, jack shit. I ain't seen you make a video saying shit, nothing, not even sideways shit. So you can hang that up and miss me with that bullshit. But let's move on, brother. Let's move on.
Hey, listen, obviously you on some dumb shit this morning. So this might not be the spot for you. Well, you can calm your ass down. And you can call me back when you got something that's worthy of listening to. Okay? Now, if you want to move on, you can go ahead and do that. But over here, you're going to get 100% realness, like I told you. You went down there and missed out on the video and got the nerve to talk about somebody else? Please.
I'm telling you straight up. I ain't talking about you. I don't do like you do, hang up and talk about you. I call you. I call you straight to the carpet. I said to your face. I said it right in your ear, bro. I don't hit click and start crying like a Mitch.
Okay. Do you got a point?
Digits, bro, straight to you, bro. Straight to your ear, bro. So let's move on. We discussing the plight of our people.
I told you to move on from the beginning, but go ahead.
Well, let's finish. Bro, what's the problem? Why the drugs? Why the crime? Why the shootings? Why do you think it is? Hunky ball, bro? Is that why? Everybody ain't got hoop dreams? Everybody ain't tuning into the game and wasting time on bullshit. How tall his brother is and how fast he runs and how many points he made with a sphere, with a toy, a child's toy.
All right, I got you, man. Anything else?
Answer the question. What is the problem with the plight of our people? What's up with the killing, the drugs?
You the smartest guy in the room. What's the problem then? You the smartest guy in the room. You the guy that's got all the, you the Mr. Africa guy. You the blackest person here. Why don't you tell us?
This dude on this phone.
Why don't you tell us? Because you don't know. That's why you don't tell us. But thank you for the call, man. I appreciate it. Call me back later. Answer your own question, Mr. Africa. You tell me why.
As I was telling you what the problem is the white male removed the economics from our civilization, from our community. He did it strategically, along with siphoning the black male out of the home, creating your punk ass. That's what the problem is. We don't have strong black men. And the ones that's fake-ass strong still watching grown men play with balls.
Right. And the ones that's fake-ass strong is putting up, you playing with fire, playing with police officers on some dumb shit. But you supposed to get props for that. You don't get no props from me from over there. I saw the video. I mean, I could have gave you some tips on how I could have had more substance to it. But what? You ain't busting the grape, bruh. You the same black man who I had to get on top of over and over again just to go make you help out that the brother, Miss Earl Starr. Brother Starr over there. So I get it, man. You the blackest man in the room. You've never been to Africa, but you love Africa. And you don't watch basketball. But you ain't busting the grape for the community, though. Talking shit to me is not the same as helping a community. I know you think it is because I'm just such a strong voice. And so you feel like trying to take shots at me makes you look better. But, I mean, you can save it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. The real question is, how do you move from talk to action? I hear you talking, but what are you actually doing? Nothing. Zero. Appreciate the call, kinda. Only in a sense it's an example of how you don't want to sound when you call into the Nathan Ivey Show. Bro, I said open your mind before you open your mouth. You didn't do that. So miss me. And if you don't like what I'm doing, then don't be here. Real simple. Real simple, Black Line. You got so many options in the digital age. I don't understand guys like you. I don't get it. I don't listen to shows that I don't like. I don't waste my time with it. Why would I? I'm too busy. I got 2 kids. I got a 4-year-old. So again, I don't want you to be my child. You cannot be my son. I'm not taking you home. I'm not going to be a father to you. I've already got 2 kids, man. And one of them is 4. That's the only little boy that I want to take care of. I don't have time to take care of a grown-ass man that's acting like a little boy. I'm actually taking care of a little boy who's 4 years old. So you need to go get some help, bro. But, whatever. All right, 513-873-7134. That man is obsessed with me. He's obsessed with me. See, Karamia writes, drug abuse runs rampant in the white community. Yeah, but we're talking about the black community, though. If you ever party with them, they have abundance of drugs, and they are the most dysfunctional people. Yes, they are killing each other, too. The media just does not expose like they do us. Well, I mean, if a white person is killed, the media will cover it. I think. Are we saying that there's more murders, like white-on-white crime, if you want to look at it that way, and the media is just not reporting it? I mean, okay. I mean, I like to see some of the numbers on that. I think that the reason why I say drugs is a part of this is because it probably is. But it's never a part of the way the media reports it. They report it like this is just some straight-up evil. And what I personally think is a lot of these guys is committing these crimes, and they doped up out of their mind. Doped up. Get up every morning, you start with a blunt, you end with a blunt. You're drinking all the way through, and if you can find some pills, you'll take them too along the way every single day. That's drug abuse. That's a drug addict. A lot of these dudes, man, committing these murders and stuff is dope addicts. They on dope every day. It's just another way of looking at it rather than saying, oh, these are just straight up evil acts. These are dope-inspired acts in a lot of cases. At least that's my perspective on it. What about yours? Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, Brother Nathan. This is Chip Murphy.
Hey, Chip.
And I live in Dallas. I just recently kind of joined the chat room a little bit. Usually I'm driving when I'm listening to your show. I'm on my way to work down here in Dallas now. From Cincinnati, born and raised, been away from the city about 25 years or so, but I found you when you was on the buzz, and I connected with you. I love what you do. I don't always agree with you, of course, and I don't like your language all the time, but I love what you do, and I appreciate it. And man, you talking about how can you move from what you do to action? You've done that many times. From what I've been able to understand and hear, is when you say something, man, you have a platform that people rally towards when you say something of relevance, and I think you have the formula right there. What you're doing right now, and when you talk about something that's important and that means something to people, people will rally. If you say, hey, let's go do this, I think you'll find that there'll be people to rally behind that. So you guys have it. Everybody, all your listeners up there in Cincinnati, y'all got it. I love my brother, Little Black Lion. He sound like a little dude, don't he? I don't know. I mean, I don't really know who he is, but he sound like Cat Williams or somebody like that. I don't know, but
honestly, he do have a little Cat William kind of esque to his stature.
Right. And I love him, man, because he's all the way black, right? But he out there a little bit. Bless his heart. A little bit about what you said, because I got a whole bunch because I listened to you, but I don't ever really get to call in and all that, so I probably got a lot of stuff backed up. So I don't know how much time you got, but one thing you said about Cincinnati and the inequality as far as the income between black and white. Man, the battle really is early on in the lives of the children in that city. If you look at the high school graduation rate and the rate of who goes to college and who graduates from college, well, of course, in our city, Cincinnati, more whites graduate from high school, more whites go on to college and graduate. We've got to do something, and I don't know. I know people who work in that area and are trying different things. I'm close friends with Byron White and Vanessa White. Dr. Byron White and Dr. Vanessa White. She recently got her PhD, Vanessa White. So God bless her. They're working in the community, working in the area of education, because really we got to find find a way to get the kids to either stay in school, get educated, or become entrepreneurs in some way. So they need to learn entrepreneurialism. I don't even know if that's a word, but or figure out a way to keep them in school in spite of their motivation in their families or whatever it might be, or the group that they hang with. So the way to attack this is multifaceted, and it won't change until we all get together and try to move in that direction of getting our rates of education, graduation and college, and graduation from college, or entrepreneurialism, and joining together our resources, just like the white community. I went to a high school in Cincinnati that I didn't take advantage of because I didn't know what I was doing when I was there. I went to St. Xavier High School, and I have literally almost no connections with the people there that I went to school with. And had I known what I was in when I was there and how to take advantage of it, I may have been able to do other things in my life. I'm doing okay. I'm not saying I don't have a good life, but we need to learn how to network and how to take advantage of things that are presented to us. So Nathan, I know that's pretty long, and I got so much more to say. I love you, man. I love your show. I love what you do. And I'm kind of alt-middle, but I don't agree with those characters that you have who are in the middle. So I can't really jump on their bandwagon, but I love you, man. Peace.
Hey, thank you for the call. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. Brother down in Dallas from Cincinnati area. And I agree completely. You know, black people need to unify the same way that other races have. The same way. And we already have done that around the Nathan Ivey Show, building community. So let's take it to the next level. Let's move from action, from talk to action together. As I said, if I run for city council, that's my slogan. There it is right there. I'm moving from talk to action. I spent many years talking about it, delineating, documenting, analyzing, debating the issues. Now it's time to take that experience and all that data and put it into some real action right here, right now. Real political action in the city of Cincinnati. But what's your take? 513-873-7134. He says he's kind of alt-middle-ish. Oh, no. Why did he say that? Oh, my God. He says he likes Black Lion. He's all the way black. No, he's all the way black talking. There's a difference. Because you talk black don't mean you for black people. That brother's a great example of it. Because my challenge would be, well, show me an example of you loving black people. Like I said, disrespecting me, I don't know what his problem is. I think it's because I have such a strong voice is the way I carry myself. So I kind of set myself up for a certain personality of a man out there to instinctively want to kind of challenge it. I think that's kind of what it is. And I don't give a damn what it is. I don't have no time for your nonsense, man. We gave you enough time for that. Say the clown routine. When you put the big red nose on with the kente cloth red nose, I don't want to see that. It's time to move on. That's what I say. Oh, man, that's a great call, though. Appreciate it. Rackham. He said kind of alt-middle-ish, but he doesn't like the alt-middle cast of characters. You know what he's talking about? Fame. That's what he's talking about. Bunky writes, Nate, that principle is of African descent. Let me see. Ray writes, good grief. Yeah. You know, Black Lion has selective hearing. That's what he has. But that's because he don't have nothing to talk about when he calls in. He just want to talk about me. And for me, it's kind of gotten old. Like, I don't need another son. I already got one. You cannot be my son, Black Lion. I've already got one. He's 4. I don't have no time for no grown-up children because I have to deal with real children. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you got little kids, you ain't really got time for no grown-ups acting like little kids. What is this here? Oh, okay. All right, there's a big meeting tomorrow. I just got a media invitation here. Huh. Might check this out tomorrow. All right. All right, Mike Davis writes, either you're selling crack rock or you got a wicked jump shot, right? And that's a damn shame. We got to expand those opportunities. We got to expand them. Drop writes, Black Lion is a little dude. Is he saying Black Lion has Napoleon complex? I don't know. Angela writes, who is this caller? It wasn't Roosevelt, no. It was a different number from Roosevelt. The brother told you he was. He's from Dallas. He's called in, I think he called in once before. Recently, I can't remember unless that was somebody else. I think that was him. Yeah, he was a Cincy transplant to Dallas. That's what drops. He got it right. Yeah, it's good to hear from him. You know, people want to, people pay attention. They monitor the show. They want to call in and show support. I appreciate it. Anybody who's doing anything needs support. I don't care what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can stand back and criticize and nitpick anything. You can nitpick God. You know what I'm saying? Well, damn, why are you walking on water? You could be 2 inches higher off the water. Damn. Did it have to be red wine? Did you turn it into? Man, I thought it was going to be champagne. I mean, you can do that with any situation. But as anyone who's ever did anything knows, you need supporters. Let me see. Angela writes, was that Roosevelt? Why would Roosevelt Barnes, who's a very serious man, call in under a different name and say he's from Dallas? Why would he do that? It doesn't make any sense. No, that wasn't Roosevelt. If it was, he would have said it was Roosevelt. Why would No, I don't see Roosevelt doing that one. There's no reason to. He could just call in with his name and say, this is Roosevelt, as he does from time to time, and share his own opinion. I don't know. Broadway Flow writes, we got wolves everywhere. They just move in silence. Alt middle is the way. Not really. No. Angela writes, sorry, I have my earbuds around my neck. Yeah, it's all good. Clue Magic writes, you should have called me, Nate. You have had a great ride in a very nice car. You know what, Clue Magic? See, that's a businessman who knows what he's doing. That's an entrepreneur who knows what he's doing. That's why I tip, and I'll be honest with you. Don't tell nobody, because they may not like it. But if they do, damn it, you can tell them. But I go out of my way to make sure I give great ratings, and I tip, my black drivers. I got to represent for people. I got to represent. And that's why I started the Represent Now PAC, because I just don't feel like black people are getting the representation that they need in the greater Cincinnati area. We need representation right now. Just like you got to give people props when they represent. I take Ubers maybe 3-4 times a week. Really, Uber is the greatest thing ever when you're going out with the wifey. Oh, my God. It's so great. Whether you drink or don't drink, it's just hands-free. It's so much better. It's just so much better to be hands-free. You don't have to worry about parking. You don't have to get your car afterward. You just jump into an Uber straight from the front door of your house, and you can jump in and jump out at the front door of the restaurant or club or wherever you're going. It's a great invention when you're not in a bad car. I got into one Uber. It was a black female, and it was during the day. I was coming to this space, as a matter of fact, where I am right now, over on the west side of Cincinnati. And it looked like she was a hoarder. Man, she had and I don't know about you, but this kind of sends the wrong message. But she had one of those inventions where you can put it over the back of the seat and it holds a lot of different stuff. And she had 3 or 4 different air freshener bottles. And I'm like, why do you need 3 or 4 different air freshener bottles? The hell are you doing in this car? And it instantly made me a little bit uneasy. If it had just been one air freshener, cool. But you got 4 air freshener bottles. I'm like, what the hell? I don't. It just was the wrong look. It was the wrong look. That's all I'm saying. Please tip your Uber drivers, especially when they do a good job. Here, 5 stars is a tip. Well, no, 5 stars is a rating. A tip is a tip. Mike Davis writes, I'm 32 on the weekends. Is that right? Oh, man. She writes, excuse me, I missed parts of the call. All good. All good. Drop writes, Angela, is it nature or nurture? Oh, boy, here we go again with the whole nature and nurture. That's almost a racist conversation, almost. When you ask whether it's nature or nurture, when you talk in relation to like violence in certain communities where black people are involved. That's damn near racist. Because if you look at the numbers, statistically, white people are more likely to be murdered by somebody white. Across the board, you're more likely to be murdered or to have some kind of altercation with somebody that you know than somebody that you don't know, statistically. Whether you're black, white, Asian, makes no difference. Okay, and that says a whole lot about it. It's usually somebody in your own circle that you end up having some kind of altercation with. The second thing is it's usually somebody that's, you know, from your neighborhood because you don't have access to other neighborhoods on a regular basis. So people want to focus on so-called black on black violence, which I hate. But what about so-called white on white violence? Yeah, you know, when you hear stories of white people being murdered or murdering one another, you'll never read a headline, white on white crime. And the reason why should outrage black people as to why you see the term black on black crime. Because it's not useful to the conversation. It doesn't give you any more information about what happened. And it's really disingenuous. It kind of makes you feel like, why are black people brutalizing black people? When statistically, geographically, you're just more likely to get into it with somebody that you know that you don't know. Let me see. One of 8 homicides, my child Brandon Miller is the only one killed by a non-black male, and the killer wasn't even charged after racial slurs were stated before he killed my son. I did reach out to the mother in this situation, and I've yet to get a response back. One of the choppers is hit me up to this. And I reached out to see if we can get an interview. But these things are very sensitive when somebody gets killed. And I respect all of this. But I'm reading from a post that's inside the Friends page right now from WCPO. Nigel Bates Miller. And out of the 8 homicides, this man, Brandon Miller, is the only one who was killed by a non-black male. And apparently, this non-black male, and is this a white guy or what is this? Non-black male, what does that mean? And he wasn't even charged after racial slurs were stated before he killed his son. So does anybody have the inside story on Brandon Miller, and the situation with him? Yeah, apparently that was his son. And I reached out to him and, the family's just not ready to talk to me about it. And I totally respect it. I totally respect it. But just to give you a sense of what's happening, even when I'm not on the air, I'm still connecting with people and still trying to bring media and stories back so we can let people know what's going on. And that's just a very serious situation. I mean, what's the details between Brandon Miller? Was he killed by a white male who used racial slurs? Give me the detail. Have you heard about this? You can jump inside the Friends page right now and check it out for yourself. Thanks for the post from Daryl. Yeah, I am hip to it. Like I said, I reached out to the father via Facebook yesterday, and he did respond. And I also reached out to the mother. And let's just say I just don't think they're ready to talk about anything like that. We'll see. Let me read more from this. Let me see. The Cincinnati police is not charging this man. This city is showing its racism because this is the first black male killed by a white man, and they refuse to take anyone else's statement that was saying anything against him. Joseph Gregory, you are a cold-blooded, calculated murderer, and I pray there's nothing good comes to you. Yeah, he was shot over 10 times by a white man who called him a nigger before he killed him, and they took his money off of him while he was dead. I am in awe about why this guy is able to walk around free after committing a hate crime that was premeditated murder by a racist bigot who turned out to be a retaliation from a previous fight that my child had with a relative of Joseph Gregory. And this man was intoxicated, and so do concealed carry laws not cover him. So that was a statement from Nigel Bates Miller about what happened to his son. Have you been reading about this? Have you been reading about this? So I want to get your thoughts. 513-873-7134. I mean, what do you know about this? That's a terrible situation right there. Yeah, it really is. Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens with this. Like, is the father's account true? Is what he's saying accurate? That his son was murdered by a drunk white male who used racial epithets? You called him the N-word? Huh. Tanika writes, Nate, you need to drive your own car. Mike Davis writes, please tip your barber. I always tip my barber. Yeah, you got to take care of the barbers, man. You got to take care. I mean, anybody that's providing a service, I try to take care of them when they give me great service. That's what money's for. Especially when I'm dealing with black folks. I got to be real. Let me see. Broadway Flo writes, let the caller know the alt middle is an army. Better yet, the Navy. Jump on or fall back. I feel you on that one. Did you hear about the story about Brandon Miller? Yeah. And is this real? Again, you can jump inside the Friends page. And a listener brought this to my attention yesterday, and I reached out to him immediately, and I did get a response. Not a response that would say, yeah, I'll be on the show, or we be talking about and promoting it today. But that's an interesting situation there. So what I don't want to happen is in the wake of all these shootings that we don't talk about this particular shooting that looks like, you know, I think all of the shootings deserve more analysis and a deeper look, of course, but, you know, this as well. You know what I'm saying? You use the N-word, kill someone. But again, I don't have any more information than that. This is just something that's coming from the family. So if you have any information about Brandon Miller, please let me know. Let's put it out there. Somebody knows something. Angela writes, well, there you have it, folks. A system of racism, white supremacy right in your face. And we know it. But the question is, how do we move from talk to action? How do we move from talk to action? Okay. Other than us talking about it, and again, you know, I love talk because that's what I do. And I think that media and communicating ideas is a very, very important part of any system, any response. And that's part of the reason why I created Sin Digital Media, in part, to fill the void and to create a new media platform where, you know, people can be heard, that focuses on the needs and the concerns of the urban community inside the I-275 loop. You know, that's what we do. And if you listen to a lot of our podcasts or any of our podcasts, a lot of what we talk about is that stuff when we talk about local stuff, right? So is this a political issue? Do you think that if we put more pressure on the politicians, then they could put more pressure on the police, and therefore we could see a better result on the streets? Do you believe that? 513-873-7134. Kermir writes, he needs a better lawyer. TNT writes, why is it that when we get killed, the media always use a mugshot? We don't know if we're looking at the victim or the perpetrator. I think it's another way to dehumanize us and make the public not care about the recent murders. I agree. Or it could be they are trying to, right. I mean, you can't reach out to the family and get a better shot than that. Everybody has a Facebook post. I mean, most people have Facebook profiles. So when something happens, the police could go on Facebook and grab a shot, get a screenshot of you or download a photograph if they have the right name, right? Bunky writes, what's the name of the white guy that shot him? Brandon Miller? Hold on. This is inside the Friends page right now. You can check it out for yourself. His name is Joseph. Hold on here. His name was Joseph Gregory. At least that's what's written in this particular post here. Joseph Gregory. Fame writes, wrong Fox, Fame, and my alt middle brethren have character. There's a huge difference, B. Okay, if you say so. I'm not so sure about that. Exactly, TNT. White kid shoots you at school. They show Xmas pictures, right? They show baby pictures. Oh, here's the pictures of the perpetrator killed 16 people. He's like 3 years old, posing with a cute little kitten. Drop writes, Chicago sees 52 shot, 10 killed in violent weekend. Eddie Johnson and area deputy chiefs address department-wide measures toward combating violent crime over the weekend. Watch. I mean, is Chicago ever going to get it together? Is there any other stories about black people coming out of Chicago? I mean, all I'm saying is it seems like everything that comes out of Chicago is negative. It's some goddamn, excuse my language, it's some damn R. Kelly, some Jesse Smollett, or it's the never-ending shootings that happen in Chicago. I know there's got to be some good news about black people in Chicago. It's got to be. It's got to be. It's got to be. It's not to say you want to overlook these things and things like that, but dang. Damn it. See here. Read the media regarding Brandon Miller. Media did not once mention the shooter. Talk about double standards. That's right. That's right. Well, we know that local media has its inherent bias. We know that. All media does. You know, any media channel has a media bias. Let's just get that straight. Any media channel is going to be biased toward black people. It's going to be biased toward conservatives. It's going to be biased toward liberals. It's going to be biased toward millennials. It's going to be biased toward, you know, whatever. You know, any channel you create, people put together, they're going to do it with a certain intentionality, with a certain mindset. And it's just about whether the bias is something that favors you or not. And when it comes to local media in Cincinnati, that's why people said that, you know, the station I used to work for was so important because they looked at it as a place that was different. And there was a time when that had, you know, you had those opportunities. And yeah, you're going to get a different perspective for sure. But even beside that, there's still room for other attitudes and other viewpoints. I'm just saying. So this is crazy, man. That is a terrible situation. I'm sure more information will come out. And as it does, I'll share it with you as soon as I get the information. Just a terrible situation right there. It really is. All right. So we've got numerous people that want to move from talk to action in terms of being a part of the CCW classes. I can envision this being a series of classes. And of course, I'm going to participate in the first one as well. I even think Dr. Ivey might be a part of it. It's a family affair, maybe a part of that group as well. We're looking at, for folks who might be interested, we're looking at the second week of July, and we're still looking at either that Saturday or Sunday. So I just need your input if you're interested. Does the 13th or the 14th of July work for you? July is going to be a busy month in Cincinnati. A lot of stuff going on. Of course, at the end of that month, you got the Music Fest weekend, so it's going to be a lot of fun here. But we're moving from talk to action with the Nathan Ivey Show. From talk to action, we can talk about these issues. We can chop it up and analyze it with the best of them. We got it. So what are we going to do about it? What can we do about it together? And what I say is we move toward political action. That's what I say. But, okay, so the first stop is all about health. And I think security and health go hand in hand. And as I said before, you know, I want people to be proficient, you know, with your firearm. I want you to understand and exercise your rights constitutionally with your firearm. Okay. And I want you, and we're going to move beyond just being licensed to being, you know, more than proficient with a firearm. Okay. And that's a very important part of what I think is the overall plan of moving from talk to action, you know, with the Nathan Ivey Show and with the friends who like the Nathan Ivey Show and with the choppers. And, okay, check this out. So let me read this to you. I'm reading an article right now. Not an article. This is a post from one of the choppers. This is Cam Hardy. He posted just a little while ago. Okay, this is in line with what we're talking about right now. So check this out. I'm watching our police chief do a horrible job handling the spike of violence in our city right now. Telling the public, quote, we are below average does not show me you have a handle on what's going on in our city. When people are witnessing gun battles on the street in broad daylight, that means that the city isn't safe and something needs to be done. His response to these tragedies is unacceptable. City council needs to let him know he has, he has to come better than that. I'm going to go ahead and like that. And I remember Cam posted like a week and a half ago, he was close to or saw some violence that happened. I think it was over Mount Airy or on that kind of on that side of town. He posted it and it sparked a conversation. And here we are 2 weeks later and the violence is still continuing. Now, do we expect the Cincinnati Police Department to be able to put out these fires immediately? Is that what our expectation is? I agree. When I heard and read, really, when I read that the police chief had said that, and again, I did not hear it with my own ears. I read it. So I don't know exactly what he said. But if he said that, like, oh, we're below average, that is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. Because how many people does have to be murdered before it starts to matter? I mean, to me, one. Right? The first time. Yeah, I mean, that's it. Nobody else has to die. In my humble opinion. But what do you think? 513-873-7134. What do you think the community response should be? What do you think the community's response should be? Saritha writes, when will you have a concrete date for the CCW class? Got to have my July request turned in by the 20th. I hope they get it within 24 hours. There's a couple people who I've yet to hear back from, and they will just make a decision. And like I said, it might end up being a series of classes. Speaking of the CCW class, I saw Rufus Johnson. He called into the show last week to talk about, working with us and, working toward, fulfilling our constitutional obligations and responsibilities and our God-given spiritual responsibility to protect ourselves and protect our families. And he's doing big things. He's very serious about using his information in the community to help educate people. It's about safety for our children. It's about safety for adults as well. TNT writes, we had a meeting with the leaders of the Inquirer and plan to have one more meeting, but I explained how it's important that we need more positive images of stories of black males because the negative stories is what's killing us right now. I agree. That's your Cincinnati NAACP out there on the front lines, representing the interests of black people. Represent. Bunky writes, your firearm is a tool before a weapon. Dante writes, sounds like a drug debt gone wrong. Dante writes, I heard it was a fight a couple days ago. They saw each other and fought again. Then Brandon opened fire. The white guy shot back and hit his target. Don't think it was racial, though. Thanks for that, Dante. Appreciate it. Fame writes that the shooter is high school. He probably doesn't have a mugshot. False equivalent per visual. Or no, he says per usual, he writes. Oh, boy. Okay, we're getting a call. Let me go to the phones here again. So what should the community response be to what's happening with the shootings that's happened over the last a little bit less than 2 weeks? All right, good morning. Welcome to the show. Yo, good morning.
Mazel tov, guy.
Good morning.
Yeah, mazel tov. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
That's wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. I was until. Hey, listen. You said you were talking about that your phone system has caller ID in the studio.
Yeah.
Oh, so when that dude from Dallas called in, did it say scam likely?
No, actually, it was a number that I didn't recognize.
Oh, yeah, because that's exactly what that was, a scam phone call.
How so?
Try to sneak this to alt middle.
He said he liked you. He said he thought he said he thought of himself as a member of the alt middle. That's a compliment,
no,
really.
He said, he tried to back it. That was an underhanded diss. Look, dude, don't start playing.
Oh, you talking about when he said he had like certain members? Yeah, he was probably talking about you. But so what?
I don't give a damn. He ain't got to like me. You know what I'm saying? I'm the founder. I'm Sam Walton. I don't care if you like me. I'm the owner.
You should stop using that word.
Yeah, exactly. To tie up the conversation from last week. You know what I'm saying?
You were wrong about
and all
last
that
week.
kind of stuff. No, I was not. I was not, and I'm not. Because he's a black GCLer. That guy, didn't he say he went to St. X?
I don't recall.
A black GCLer. He said he went to St. Xavier High School. Very fine academic institution. On the law, they call Elder Police Academy, and they call St. X Law School. on the low. A lot of lawyers come from St. X.
Is that right?
Dieters is, if I'm not mistaken, the prosecutor is very connected in St. X. Joe Dieters. You know what I'm saying? What he basically said was, he didn't take advantage of his. First of all, the black GCLers, they are probably the most non-black black men outside of Mr. Lenny up there in Mason.
Oh, so now you're going to attack the
shout out to Clue. Clue doesn't fit that mold. He went to a GCL school, and my man Anthony, who also went to St. X. He probably in that same class, like 89.
Well, there goes your point then.
No, but all the rest of those Negroes, they are the fakest, most placating, trying to curry favor from white people that you've ever met. They were indoctrinated under that religion up there. Some of them had their booty holes played with, and
now, how could you possibly know that? How could you possibly know that?
I've been told stories from a dude who went to Roger Bacon, from another dude who went to, from two other dudes who went to St. X, and a dude who went to LaSalle. That's right. The LaSalle, the Wilsons, they don't fit that profile either. But yeah, these brothers have no connection to the community. Most of these black GCLers,
unless it's somebody that you say that is okay, right?
So, yeah, because they do stuff in the community. The Wilsons, they provide a scholarship so inner city kids can go to LaSalle. One lives in Texas, one lives in Las Vegas. And they still give back to LaSalle so that inner city boys from the west side, because they grew up in the Fay apartments, can go to LaSalle. I know this because they hooked up I know this because they hooked up my son.
Right, but what you don't know is what you don't know, meaning you have no idea what the brother who called in from Dallas and what he's doing and what his connection is.
He said that he didn't take advantage of his connections, and now he's in Dallas. Based on my deduction from that, he didn't get involved with those white people enough, and now he's, down there struggling how to get along with white people in Dallas, and he misses his white friends. Don't call in and sneak this, bro.
It wouldn't be the first time your deductions were wrong.
No, they weren't. That's just what I heard from the phone call. I was ready to give him props till he snuck diss us.
He didn't sneak diss you. He said he wanted to be. He said he felt like he was a member of the alt middle. That's actually props.
He ain't. No, you can't feel like you're an alt middle until we welcome you with open arms.
You're being too sensitive.
No, I'm not. I'm protecting my baby.
Your baby don't need protecting.
I've spoken. Okay. Now, as far as the NBA and hockey ball, if Durant comes back, that's the death knell for Golden State.
No, it's not.
You don't get to recalibrate your game that quickly. Toronto only has to win one of three. You're not going to be able to recalibrate your game and everybody else's game against a team that's really, going through one person who's on a mission. He's looking like LeBron in 2016.
He sure is.
You see what I'm saying? So it's that would be the death knell for them. That's why I advise you to take either Toronto on the money line or straight up or minus 1.5, meaning that they're going to win by at least 2 points. And as far as all the killings that's going on, actually, you mentioned the little boy up in Mount Airy. If you remember about a year and a half ago, I told you about a nephew I have that's been running amok for quite some time. He knows that kid.
The kid
he knows that kid. Yeah, I had to go, take him to the, to go get him fitted for a suit, get his measurements, for the services.
Oh,
yeah.
Man. Damn.
Yeah, he knows that kid. So he lives right up there. That happened at the bus stop right at Coleraine and North Bend. My nephew lives at the next traffic light, in that little subdivision. These are all kids who live in houses. I'll admit my sister she bought hers. She owns it. I don't know how the other kids' living arrangements are, but these are kids who live in houses with backyards. They're not down there in Hawaiian Village on that side of Coleraine. They live in, houses, backyards, driveways, and all that, and they still want to act like, poopy heads.
Why is that? Is it the music? Is it the
As
environment?
you know, it's all that, but it goes back to my comment about how rap music has hurt the community more than it has helped. It is time for responsible Black adults to acknowledge that. There's two, just like Cedric, the entertainer. Remember in Barbershop, there's three things Black people need to get realistic about. OJ did it. Rosa Parks ain't do nothing but sit her black ass down. Remember that scene?
I do. It was controversial.
Yeah. That's what Black people need to do. There's two things Black people need to get realistic about. Rap music has fucked us, and Barack fucked us. And I'll holler at you at the next moon. Elheim. Oh!
I disagree, but I disagree completely. I disagree on both cases. The easiest thing in the world to do is blame rap music. Rap music didn't do a damn thing. Rap music didn't make nobody pick up a gun. It was a lack of parental oversight, period. Everything my daughter does and has is because I allow her to do it. Either I'm doing it consciously or I'm doing it unconsciously. And that's what it, so before rap music, what was killing all the people? Blaming rap music is lazy. Is intellectually lazy to blame rap music. It's the rap music. They rapping about what's on the movies. So that's why movies predate. Look. If you go back to when rap took a turn, like a serious turn, to the open fascination with the drug culture and lifestyle, they got that shit from movies, yo. They got it from movies. Watching Scarface movies, watching these gangster movies, these gangster flicks, gangster tales. That predates rap. Okay, you talk about the drugs. They're rapping about drugs. Well, I mean, music has been rapping about changing your state and drinking since the beginning of time. It ain't nothing new. I'm sorry. Is rap an influence? Yeah. But what's a bigger influence in a parent, in a child's life? Is it the parents, the culture, the environment, the systems, the rituals that you set up with your kid? Or is it the rap music that you let pacify your kid because you don't want to set up no rituals? You don't want to set up a schedule, a regimen. If you ain't going to keep your kids busy, then they'll keep themselves busy by listening to Lil Wayne or whatever else. And yeah, it's going to have an impact or it's an influence on them. But no, I refuse to say that rap music is what brought down the Black community. It's racist, quite honestly, to say that. I'm surprised to hear a Black man say that. And it's lazy. It's very intellectually lazy. Oh, it was the rap music. Oh, it was the pink Kool-Aid. Yeah, it was the Kool-Aid, right? Mm-hmm. No, it was the cyanide in the Kool-Aid that killed everybody. I don't believe that. And then it's also intellectually lazy to blame Barack Obama for what we didn't do. Barack Obama said we can do it. He didn't say he was going to do it all by himself. He said we was going to do it. So my question will be to anybody who feels like Barack Obama failed us, what were you doing during those 8 years while he was in office? What did you do? What did you do? Because if you didn't do nothing, then how you going to blame Barack Obama? That's what I will say to Fame. Fame, what did you do during them 8 years when Barack Obama was in the White House? What was you doing? Was you out here trying to be the change you want to see? Was you out here trying to take what Barack Obama had said and try to put in place? Right? We are the change we need. Wasn't that he said, we are the change we need. Wasn't that the slogan? He didn't say, I am the change that we need. He said, we are the change that we need. I don't know, but we can agree to disagree, though. It's all good. Let's see here. And then he said he was a supporter. The brother from Dallas said he's a supporter. That's it. I think that's what he's trying to say. That's what I heard. Let me see. So what? So now we getting conflicting thoughts. Now somebody just said, Dante said that, this brother got into an altercation with this man and they fought a couple times, linked back up, start shooting. And one was just a better shot than the other or something like that. Not sure. Bunky writes, I can't speak to other GCL schools, but the bros from Purcell's we were solid. Angela writes, Bernie's coming to Cincinnati at Drop. Will you be attending? When is Bernie going to be here? I might try to see if I can get into his house and do some reporting for him. Let me see, Bernie to Cincinnati. I think Durant should do whatever Durant wants to do. Let me see here. When's he coming? When's he coming to Cincinnati? I'd like to know. I'll reach out and see if I can get some coverage. That'd be great. Rap music has made the last 3 count billionaires, Jay-Z, Dr. Dre, P. Diddy, and many more getting close. Tracy writes, I may be broadcasting live on Facebook next Tuesday or Wednesday from the Russ Park Morning Show in D.C. Stay tuned. That's going to be great. It's awesome, Tracy. Let me know. Clue Magic writes, get prepared to pay your son, Omar. Toronto's going to close out tonight. Could be. Sharp writes, good morning, Choppers. If rap music ain't conscious to uplift my people, I ain't listening. Right. I'm with you on that, Karamia. Like, you don't have to listen to every kind of rap music just because it's out there. You don't got to listen to it. But there's a lot of positive rap, man, so I can't say rap music. Look at Lecrae. You telling me the kind of music that Lecrae is producing? He's an inspirational hip-hop artist. Super dope. Super dope. You telling me he's creating the kind of music that's leading to the static and the violence we see in the community? No, it's not. So you overgeneralizing when you say rap music. I would be more willing to jump on board and agree with what you're saying if you were more specific, like certain genres of rap music. If you said like the genre of rap music that promotes not just violence, but, drug use, drug abuse. If you want to say that, okay, great. You may have an argument there. I mean, I could always counter with an argument as well, but you might have an argument there. But just to say that all rap music, Public Enemy's rap music, you telling me Public Enemy had an influence to lead brothers out into the streets to shoot one another? So obviously there's nothing true there about that. Angela writes, Bernie should be here by July 27th. Okay, I keep my ear antenna up on that one. Fame writes, rap music helped far less than it helped. Stop fronting. Fuck Lecrae, he writes. So now he's already changed the argument. He went from rap music was what brought down the black community to now rap music helped far less than it hurt and all this kind of stuff. Man, please. It depends on what you do. It's like anything else. It's what you do with it. It's people out there that can listen to rap music, even rap music that promotes drug use, but they take something different from it and they produce something positive from it. Okay? It's all about who you are and the way that you've been socialized to look at things. That's what it comes down to. If you're somebody who you live in an environment where being a savage is valued, and then you listen to music in which they telling you being a savage is the right thing to do, that makes you the ultimate warrior, you're a man, then what you think gonna happen? Yeah. Bunky writes, tell Bernie the bigot no one is checking for his old Geritol ass. I'll make sure I tell him that if I ever get a chance to talk with him, if I can remember. What is it again? Tell Bernie the bigot no one is checking for his old Geritol ass. I remember that one. Bernie the bigot now? That's what we doing about Bernie Sanders? It was all good just 4 years ago. He was the man. Bernie a buzz. Now you saying he's a bigot? Oh, never good. Never good. Family heartbroken by senseless killing of father in Lower Price Hill. We've been talking about this all morning. It's terrible. 23-year-old suspect is the murderer in the JC right now. 23 years old. That's crazy. A father of 7's shooting death marks the 8th homicide in Cincinnati in about 2 weeks. Father of 7 got shot by a 23-year-old, huh? Quote, this is like getting out of control. Everybody I feel like is losing somebody they love, and you never know how close it is until it hits you. So, this man was nearly 40 years old. He got shot by a 23-year-old. Why? I mean, that's a big age difference right there. How did they know one another? Did they know one another? And that's it. It's a pretty short article. There's really no more to it here. But, the chief says that, hey, homicides are down from last year, as if that means anything. I mean, that's like saying that a police officer gets shot, but it's like, no big deal because the incidences of police officers getting shot is down compared to last year. Now, do you think that he would react that way? Hell no, he wouldn't, because blue lives matter. I'm sorry, and I like the chief, but if that statement is true, it amplifies the idea that black lives don't matter, because you're here talking about some shit that happened last year. Nobody cares about that. You don't want to hear that. If you hear about somebody dying in your family, you want to hear, last year was much worse. We had 3 more homicides last year at the same time. So this year, we're counting this as a blessing. What? No, that's not a blessing. Bunky Wright, rap music hasn't helped, Nate. Sounds have algorithms which deeply influences our moods and tempered at it with dope in the first 48 on autoplay. Negro, come on, man. Rap is hurting us. It hurt us in the early 90s also. Scarface on autoplay. Master P talking about killing black men. Well, Bunky, you heard all of that. And you didn't murder anybody. Bunky, you ain't out here robbing folks. You in the gym looking good for the ladies in the summertime. Doing your thing, right? So how were you able to listen to rap music, but yet it didn't turn you into a criminal? I listen to rap music. I listen to all that shit. It didn't make me want to go out there and commit no damn crimes. You know why? Because I had black men in my family that was providing something different. I just wasn't going to happen. It wasn't a lane for me. You know what I'm saying? Could I have gone that way? Sure, anybody can go that way. So what I'm saying is, if we all listen to rap music at some point in our lives, and we all listen to like all of the rap music, the gangster rap, the drug rap, all of it, right? You know you love Future. But yet you're not committing any crimes. How is it possible? If it's like rap music is like, it just takes over your body, it makes you do criminal shit, then why aren't we all doing this? Because of the way you was raised. And that's why I say rap is an influencer, but the biggest influencer is the environment and expectations your parents set for you. I think it's a bigger draw than what the hell some rapper's saying. You show me somebody that's got a young, impressionable mind that might be open to being controlled by rap music, and I'm going to show you somebody that probably don't have mom and dad, uncles, aunties, role models that's creating the right environment for you. And that's all I'm saying, man. I know that rap music is an influencer, but that's not what he said. What he said was flat, straight across the board, rap music is bad for black people, and I disagree with that. So now we got to reject our cultural art forms. That's like saying soul. There was a time when they said soul music was bad for black people. Oh, that damn Ray Charles. You saw the movie. Motherfuckers running around here talking about Ray Charles was ushering ungodly behavior because people was dancing. And this was back in the day. It's the music. It's not the music. It's the environment that you're brought up in. It's the expectations that the people around you that you care about the most have for you. If the people around you don't expect for you to be nothing but a damn savage, then that's what you're going to end up being. Period. I think that's my opinion. It's 10:20. Let's go to 10:30 and then we'll roll out of here. Start the show a little bit later. And again, just to give you a heads up, tomorrow and Wednesday, similar starting time at 8 a.m. We'll start at 8 a.m. tomorrow and also on Wednesday. So it's a lot of things that are percolating right now. Bunky writes, Angela writes, Bunky making sense. Fame writes, who taught you to lie? Who taught you to tie a tie, Nate? Well, I really taught myself how to tie a tie, to be honest with you. Did I have, my grandfather used to wear dress shirts and dress pants every single day. He didn't wear a tie every day, but he would wear a tie sometimes. So I can probably remember I can kind of remember him teaching me to tie a tie, but you forget all that shit. And then you're 17, you got to take a job interview. You got to remember all over again. Then you flash forward and, you're 22 and now you're going for a job interview. You got to learn it all over again. So, The last time I tied a tie, I was trying to tie a Windsor knot. I had to go on YouTube. Nobody taught me how to tie a Windsor knot. YouTube taught me how to do that. So that's who taught me. Same way with you. Same way with you. Sometimes you need a refresher course. That's what YouTube is for, right? Karamia writes, Angela, even though Biden may able to stand up against Trump, but does not have our interests in heart, Biden may keep us in change. Biden may keep us in change. Could be. I don't know. I don't think so, but I hear what you're saying. I don't want to say the interesting question with Biden. Every black person got to make their own decision. What I would say is if you believe that what Biden has supported in the past has invalidated him, then for you, he ain't even an option. Like if you feel that way, like, he was a part of the 90-something crime bill. If that's how you feel, he ain't even an option for you. For other people who are not that, stuck on that, then you got a question for yourself. And that is, whether he might be perfect or not, can he beat Trump? And what matters to you? Trump being in office, or do you believe in anybody but Trump? That's number one. If you believe in anybody with Trump, then it kind of lessens this, right? Because for you, if you're an anybody but Trumper, then you're just waiting for the Democrats or Trumpster, or you're waiting for the Democrats or the independent and third party to offer you up a candidate that most closely fits your needs. But then you got to ask yourself, so what does this really mean? Well, I think that it means something to invest in third party candidates, even if that candidate loses in the presidential election, because there's a connection between the percentages that a third party candidate or a third party's candidate receives in the prior election that qualifies them to participate in some of the political activities in the next election, as I understand it. So that investment means something, but how many black people are willing to roll with Trump for 4 more years because you vote for a candidate that, checks off your boxes personally, but on a national level may not have the cachet to actually win? I don't know. It'll be fascinating to find out. What I will say is that we're living in amazing and troubling and also very, very interesting times. We are right before an election. We are right before several elections. You got the national election coming up in 2020. You got all the state elections that's going to happen as well. You got city council elections. You got real school board. Okay. Then you got mayor. So these next 3 years are critical, very critical in determining the near future of Cincinnati, Hamilton County, Ohio, and the nation. So my question is, how do we move from talk to action? And I've got a plan that I want to share with you. See, Angela writes, why are all the babies now bopping out to the Baby Shark song? It's subliminal. Pat writes, and rock and roll. Yes, thank you for that, Pat. Yeah, rock and roll was the scourge of humanity. Oh, it's going to lead these kids to the devil. Our society will never be the same. It was just damn music. It's music. You don't like it, don't listen to it. Karamia writes, a good show, Nate. Got to go. Go to a health and wellness seminar. Thanks for being here, Karamia. Have a great day. Let's see. Talk show host in his feelings. Fame writes, you wouldn't forget how to tie a tie if Kyle Inkeep showed you. I'm not sure what your point is in that. I don't think you really have a point. But like I told you, the last time I was trying to tie a Windsor knot, and I know how to do it, but sometimes watching it on visually helps you. So I went on YouTube. So YouTube taught me. I can't even remember the name of the channel. But believe me, there are YouTube channels that teach men how to tie ties and put on belts and what looks good for you, depending on your size. There's YouTube channels for short guys or YouTube channels for big guys. You can find everything on YouTube. You can find a Nathan Ivey show on YouTube. As a matter of fact, if you're on YouTube, I want to direct you to 2 things. So number 1, I want you to find our Sin Digital Media page on YouTube, because we're going to start putting more and more content straight to YouTube. As a matter of fact, we're going straight to YouTube this week. 2 live streams prepared that we're preparing for you. One will be on Thursday, 1 p.m. approximately, and the other will be at 12:30 p.m. on Friday approximately. And you can check out the live stream of the Truth and Power podcast, and then that's on Thursday, and then check out the live stream of the Is It Just Me podcast, and that'll be on Friday. And also, you can, on YouTube, follow Nathan Ivey Show, and you can check out. There might be a video, too, up. There's audio of the show up. And, hell, I've got a few that's got several thousand hits. I had one that had 10,000 views, and they were just sort of static pages with audio playing. And what's next is just video, man. Why not? Let's have fun with it. Yeah, let's talk to everybody. TNT writes, YouTube University. Clue Magic writes, this violence could be a result of the crack babies born. They're grown up, cracked out, and don't know it. Could be. Yeah. Bunky writes, Nate, the reason I and you include Mike D, Snacks, and Daryl Omar didn't get caught up is because there's two types of black Americans. Black people and niggas. There's different genealogy. We all have the nigga tendencies, but pure nigwas can't rationalize and are very emotional and can't turn off carnal animalistic behavior. See, there's so many reasons that I no, Bunky. That sounds damn near racist, man. That damn near sounds racist. Oh my gosh. Where's Kyle Inkip when we need him to tie some ties for the kids? You know, I got a chance to meet Kyle. He seemed like a cool guy, man. And like I told you, listen, nobody was happy with your comments, Fame. Nobody. Clue Magic writes, the violence could be a result of the crack babies born. I think I read that. Drop writes, I learned how to tie a tie when there was no YouTube. A black man and father can't be replaced by YouTube. The Democrat Party is already doing it. I'm just saying. What the hell? You just had to throw in the Democrat Party somehow, right? You had to throw that in there somehow. The Democrat Party. Okay. I'll take your word for it, man. I'll trust but verify. TNT writes, yes, it does. I'm not sure what you mean, TNT. Kind of getting this out of context. Drop writes, wow, Bunky, I got some gluten-free biscuits. That's funny. Oh, man, that's hilarious there. Oh, boy. The rap music, you sound like C. Dolores Tucker. Remember her, black female? She was a community activist. And back in the 90s, she bought a whole bunch of CDs. It might have been the late 80s. No, it was early 90s. She bought a whole bunch of CDs, and then she had a big public display, and she got one of those machines they use to flatten the blacktop, right, on the street, and she crushed them all, right? And I remember Snoop Dogg was like, well, thank you. You just bought about $200 or $300 worth of my stuff. And then she crushed them and like ran over them with the steamroller or bulldozer or whatever. I think it was a steamroller. And it was a big public display. The public was there and it was like, oh, we're against rap music. And even as a young person, I thought, rap music? You're against rap music? Black people some black people can be so easily led astray. You can be so easily led astray, running around here arguing against rap music. It's a damn waste of time. That is a complete waste of time. That's what it is. Oh, we got to turn the rap music off. What? But that is my time. It's 10:30. Thank you so much for being here. And we'll catch up tomorrow morning, bright and early, at 8 a.m. Again, for Tuesday and Wednesday, I'll be starting the show at 8 a.m. And if you want to reach out and connect with me, very easy to do so. You can find me on Facebook, and you can find me on Twitter. I mean, I'm everywhere. I mean, social media, Nathan from Cincy on Twitter and also on Instagram, and check it out. Also, I'll be reposting a link to the streams that we did last week, and I want you to check it out. Tell me what you think. Hold on, I want to shout some people out right now, man. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate your support. I really do. Let me go here right now. I want to shout out all the folks that left comments on the stream back on Friday. Really appreciate you. Yeah, all the people that have been liking the Ascend Digital Media page. Appreciate it. Hold on, I'm looking at it right now here. Yes, really appreciate you. Linda O'Neill, appreciate you. She writes, love Friday show. I will continue to watch. I appreciate that. She was talking about the Is It Just Me podcast. Yeah. check us out, Sin Digital Media, on Facebook if you haven't already done so. Appreciate it. And if you're interested in being a part of the CCW class, brought to you by the Nathan Ivey Show and the Represent Now PAC, we're moving from talk to action. From talk to action, then I'll post it on my Facebook page as well so you can be a part of it. I want to shout out Tanika. I want to shout out TNT. Daryl, appreciate you. Appreciate you so much. Nat Turner, appreciate you. Daryl, I said that already. Thank you so much. And they left comments. I know a lot of people left comments. When we post those live streams, it's up in multiple places. It's on Sin. It's on my personal Twitter account. It streams live to that. It streams live to Sin Digital Media's Twitter account. If you happen to be on Twitter, we stream live from the Sin Digital Media Facebook page. We stream live to the Is It Just Me Facebook group. If you want to connect with Donnie, if you really like what she's spitting, if you really like her show, as Glenn might say, you can connect with her in a more direct way in the Is It Just Me Facebook group. It streams live there. And we stream it live to my page as well. And you'll see promos going up. Again, please like and share. It means everything. And also check out the latest episode of the Truth to Power podcast. And they're launching a petition to help Judge Tracy Hunter. I'll say it again. I echo what Joe said on the podcast. You can check it out live. And that particular stream I look at it as being naked, meaning there isn't a lot of graphics or anything, but we will be on the next stream and moving forward. But we put that stream up, last Thursday, so please check it out. And Sean Butler sat in as well. Check it out. Appreciate you. And there might be another, it depends. PG and I typically record on Thursdays, and he's expecting his son. And if his son comes, we will not be recording this week. And then he'll be on hiatus for a little while. He's going to do the new daddy thing. So he's going to take some time off too. Yeah, I like that. Men should take time off. It should be paid leave so a man could be there with his wifey, with the woman who brought his child into the world, whether they're married or not, and help participate and be a part of that process. So he may be on a hiatus for about a month or so. And if that happens, for those who like the Hot Mic podcast, then I've already got it set up to have some people come in and sit in for him and even me on one day. Again, we want to have hot conversations about hot topics with that particular podcast. So again, you can connect to all this media on our Facebook page. I really want to drive people to that Facebook page and check it out there. All right. And I'll talk with you real soon. Real soon. We'll catch back up. Thank you so much for being here. Hold on. I want to shout out more people because we had a lot of people on that stream, and it's not all collected on just one particular post. I may go live today as well, straight from the office/studio space. We can chop it up. Let me see. Caldwell, thank you so much. Yeezy, Ya, Ishmael, a.k.a. Fame, Tiffany, Pam, appreciate you, Glenn. Appreciate everybody for checking out that stream. Monique, my man, Iman, Brother Pal, thank you so much. Iris Rowley, LaShonda, really appreciate it. A lot of people said great things about that stream, and they had a lot of good things to say about that particular show. And just expect more. This Mila J, thank you so much. C.O. Taylor, appreciate you. Thank you so much. People said a lot of great things about it. And if you're like, where's your stream at? You can go to my personal page, or even better, go over to CINdigitalmedia.com. I'm sorry, Sin Digital Media on Facebook, and check out that stream. I've actually uploaded an abridged version of it. And when I listened back to it, Danietta Bailey and I were having a conversation. You can clearly hear it. And I told her about it. But after listening to it, I ain't too embarrassed. I mean, we just chopping it up. Two professionals talking about what professionals do. If you want to listen to it, you can check it out for yourself. And I put up an abridged version that kind of cut all that out of that, just so people can get straight to the good stuff, right? You don't want to hear me talking about minutia, but you can check it out. You can check it out for yourself. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, we're moving from talk to action. From talk to action in a very serious manner, in a very serious way. here in the city of Cincinnati and in Hamilton County, and I want you to be a part of it. And keep listening tomorrow. I'll give you more details on how you can be a part of it. People are excited. There's a great energy throughout the city. Shout out to Scott Dean. Shout out to Randall. Shout out to Danietta Bailey. Shout out to Level Up. Shout out to Ray, Tammy, and Glenn. They all made comments on the Truth or Power podcast stream. And, of course, you can look for a new stream from the Nathan Ivey Show. I'm streaming the show every day live very soon. You'll be able to look into the studio, not that you want to see my face. But it gives us another level to interact. You know, we can, you know, when I can accentuate the conversation with live videos, graphics, and things like that we just can't do with audio. And I think it'll bring another level to the show. So appreciate you for being here. I'll be back with you bright and early tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Until then, remember our motto. Winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning, and we'll talk real soon. I'm out.